भगवारहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो स्वाखातो येन भगवता धम्मो सुपटिपन्नो यस्य भगवतो सावकसङ्घो तम्माय भगवन्तान् सधम्मा ससङ्घम् इमहि सकारे हि यथारहं आरोपिते हि अभिपूजयामा साधुनो भन्ते भगवा सुचिरपरिनिर्वृतोऽपि पश्चिमा जनतानुकम्प मनसा इमे सकार दुःखतपणनाकारा भूते पटिगन्हातु हाको दिगरत्ता हिताय सुखाय अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो भगवा बुद्धं भगवन्तम् अभिवादमि
भगवता धम्मो धम्मं नमसामि भगवतो सावकसङ्घो सङ्घं नमामि.
To the Blessed One, the Lord, who fully attained perfect enlightenment, to the teaching which he expounded so well, and to the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, to these the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, we render with offerings our rightful homage. It is well for us that the Blessed One, having attained liberation, still had compassion for later generations. May these simple offerings be accepted for our long-lasting benefit and for the happiness it gives us.
The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and Blessed One, I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teaching so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma, I bow to the Dhamma, I bow to the Dhamma.
The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well,
I bow to the Sangha,
I bow to the Sangha.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly
At just 2 years old, the Dalai Lama recognized Jalu Dorje as a reincarnated Buddhist Lama.
His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, he laid the foundation when my parents asked him, what should we do? We don't have a necessary plan yet. He said, this day and age, Chukus especially, it'd be great to have an American education and to know English. That's the most important thing.
Now 19 and graduated from high school in the U.S., he is halfway across the world in northern India at the Mindrolling Monastery.
I left friends and family. I left, I guess, just a lavish lifestyle. I left my regular clothes, and what I brought here was just these robes, some shoes, some Crocs, fantasy football magazine, and some of my electronics and headphones. Without knowing how to do rituals, it's impossible for a lama to succeed, I guess. You need to know how to perform certain things. If you don't have the ritualistic tendencies, you can't just put a book on everyone's head and, bust them like that, right?
Recently, Dorje met his parents in Nepal to attend a series of sacred rituals and teachings over 12 days at the Shichen Monastery.
I have my regular likes, my worldly likes, like Family Guy and American football, but I'm still, my dad has trained me so much, and there's a religious side of me, I guess you would say, that allows me to have such a deep faith.
Following several years of contemplation and asceticism, Dorje hopes to return to America to teach in the Minnesota Buddhist community.
Spread the four immeasurables: peace, loving kindness, equanimity, and joy. It's definitely out of order, but just to spread the Buddha's word and his doctrine and his profound teachings as best as I can.
Good morning, Internet. Hey. So, wow. I have a morning talk show. Isn't that incredible, guys? Say something. Say good morning in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. This is Coffee with the Dharma Bum. And we're going to do it every morning, Monday through Thursday at this exact time. We started at 8 a.m. Pacific time. It's about the earliest I can manage to make anything happen up here at the Hermitage. So as you can see, guys, here's Xander. He's right here. Xavier's going to come around here. And he's down here like goofing, but he's right behind me. And you might notice, guys, that we're indoors. And that's unfortunate. But it was when I got up this morning. And by the end of the show, it's probably actually going to be great out there. But it was really, really cold. And, of course, we had to cancel the Sunday service yesterday, our first inaugural Sunday service. I was so excited. I spent a lot of time planning it, but it's okay. We're going to do it again this Sunday. And we'll talk about that later in the show and whatnot. But I actually lost a follower because I canceled. But guys, it snowed up here. And I got witnesses. Bone and Zen in the chat can witness to me. And they got hit actually way worse than we did. And they're only like a mile away. 2 miles away maybe. I don't know, something like that. But, they got whacked even harder. We just got some flurries up here. But, hey, Colm! I knew he would make it for the morning show. What time is it in Ireland, Colm? Just crawled out of bed here. Okay, so we know. So let's read Colm's message to everybody. Hey, Reverend, just crawled out of bed here an hour ago, and it's 4 p.m. in Ireland. Oh, well, it's afternoon. At least it's daytime. Nice hair, man. Yeah, I'm having a bad hair season. The whole winter and spring were really super challenging for all the reasons that my regular viewers like you know why it was so challenging. But the winter and the spring, I think, of our first year up here at the Hermitage, I don't think I'm ever going to forget it. I mean, as far as the challenges, they say if challenges chisel you and chisel your character, then, man, I got one hell of a character at this point. I mean, I must be damn close to a saint with all the shit I've been through this year. Um, Land of the Snow. It is kind of up here. It's very similar, guys. The Hermitage, and it's too bad. Tomorrow morning we'll almost certainly be outdoors. Because I had a great shot set up, guys. It was just too cold. I actually got the heater on right here at my feet, and it just was just. I just didn't want to be all weird and uncomfortable when I'm doing my very first morning show. So this is our cabin for those who are new to my stream or whatever. This is our main cabin tent. And yes, we live in a tent right now on the Hermitage, but as Country Joe McDonald said at Woodstock, a cloth house is all you need if you got love. And I love you guys. I love you guys. I'm going to love this show because it's a chance, I think, where maybe we can all relax together even more than we do on the Live from the Hermitage Saturday show, and just talk about silly stuff maybe and interesting stuff, and just talk and wake up together. And I got mine, guys. I just want to say it's, the name of the show is Coffee, right, with the Dharma Bum. So this is a Yeti mug, guys. It was literally, I got a donation when we first came on the Hermitage, when we first claimed the property for the Sangha. I got a donation of a whole bunch of Ace Hardware gift cards. And literally the first the person that did this just like called, texted me on the phone and said, "Hey, you're in Alturas right now," and they were in like Canada, right? And they're like, "You're in Alturas right now," and I was like, "Yeah, we're actually driving around in downtown. Me and Bone were," and they're like, "Go over to the Ace Hardware store. They got something for you," and he had bought a whole bunch of gift cards. But anyway, the first thing I bought with it was this Yeti mug, and I'll tell you, there's a reason why this is the mug of choice for how do you say, mountain folks, you know what I mean, whatever, people on mountains, I guess, I don't know, whatever. But it's very thermal. First of all, it's huge. I mean, it holds like a quart of coffee. So what am I drinking, guys? Everybody's sharing. Zen said she was drinking some sort of Martinsville something. This is Colombian, guys, and I actually hit a deal because it's actually an off-brand, no-name Colombian, and it was cheap. But I really like the flavor. It's really got that, I don't know how to explain it, but Colombian's got a very particular flavor. It's similar to Brazilian and some other South American coffees, but it's very distinct. And in the old days, all Colombian tasted like that. Nowadays, it seems like very rare. You got to go to like a Starbucks and get like, some kind of pound of like, I don't know, like, real, like imported Colombian from Starbucks or something, some fancy gourmet coffee shop. But I got this cheap can, guys, and I love it. I love it. So fresh Colombian for the Dharma Bum. Make sure you tell us what you're drinking in the chat. It's kind of required. It's, coffee with a Dharma Bum. So share what you're drinking this morning. I'll catch up with the chat, guys. It's all about you guys today. So we're going to find out together a big question. We're going to answer a major question in the world of content creation. Is a Buddhist morning talk radio show even possible? Can we do this? Can this even... Can something so bizarre even happen? And hopefully if we pull it off, I get thousands of viewers. If not, then we all get to hang out together every morning, Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific, and commiserate the fact that we have to start our day. This Martinson's is awesome, bro. I don't know. Maybe I got the same as you. I got best yet. See, it's that really off-name generic, but it's got a tang to it. I really like it. It's got a tang to it. All right, let me catch up on the chat. Well, let's talk about what we saw in the morning clips first. When we started out the stream, we started out with something I think is going to be the logo kind of this show. I hope I don't get copy striked for it because it's actually my own short that I downloaded. But taking care of business, I think that's kind of going to be, when you hear that, the stream is starting. You can just put me on and go do your morning business, brew your coffee, do whatever. And when you hear that first song in the morning there, Taking Care of Business by Bachman Turner Overdrive, I'm about to start. And then for my first sort of, just kind of get things warmed up and have a sort of musical intro, My opening song today was from Buddha's Priest. I hope he shows up today because we might do an ad hoc call-in interview with Buddha's Priest. But he has a channel, guys. It's I don't know, it's like at Buddha's Priest or some sort of thing like that. So go over, find him on YouTube. But we'll have him on, and if he shows up, I think his name gets, the bot will shoot his link. But I think it's just at Buddha's Priest on YouTube. But you can search it up, Buddha's Priest, like Judas Priest, you know, it's kind of a take on that. So a lot of his stuff's got like metal in it, like metal sounding. But today was a neat one. I found that just when I went over to his site last night to set up the show, and I was like, oh, that's kind of appropriate, and I liked it. It was really cool. So hopefully he shows up, and it's actually a much longer piece. We only played a part of it. So hopefully he shows up. And then we saw a news clip. It's the most recent like big news clip that was sort of in the RSS feeds and stuff of the fellow you saw. That's a Tulku. And you know, I've always had my doubts about, you know, transplanting the Tulku system to the West. At least as far as Westerners go. Like, you know, the whole movie Little Buddha, that's just not going to happen like that. In real life, if you show up, if a bunch of Lamas show up at some middle-class household that has nothing to do with Buddhism and say, hey, guess what? You don't know us, but your kid is our Lama, and we need to take him to the monastery, they're going to call the police on you. It's not going to... Little Buddha movie is great. It's a great movie, but it's literally one of the most implausible stories just because it's based on that plot line, right? That these Lamas show up and take this Western, you know, just completely white kid and say, hey, you know, he's our Lama. You know, like I said, and even in the movie, the mom is really like dubious. She's like, what are you talking about, strangers? Go away. You know, she like actually sends him off. At one point, she just sends him packing, right? But, and so he's an example, though, but I think he's also maybe Tibetan. He's from a Tibetan family. We have a lot of Tibetans here in Northern California, especially. We've got tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Tibetan expatriates. Exiles actually, really. They're not even expatriates. They didn't choose to come here. They would probably still be in Tibet if they had their choice, but they're exiles. And the exile community is huge here. There's a lot of monasteries all over Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. So really the whole West Coast. So lots and lots of Tibetan people around. And we're going to do some Tibetan music today, guys. I'm going to sort of showcase, for our first few shows anyway, I'm going to showcase some of the contemporary music that's produced by Tibetan people, like right now in modern times. And I find it, I love it. I mean, obviously can't understand a lot of the words, right? But I love the music. So we're going to showcase one particular artist that is my favorite this morning, as we go through the show this morning. Let me catch up on the chat because Colm is being his usual prolific self, and I don't want to miss anybody's comments. So, I was awake the other night, but I managed to smoke some herb for a few time and weeks and fell asleep. Good. I'm glad. Sleep is important. Well, we're going to do prayers. We're going to do the Sunday service. We'll talk about that again later in the show. But the Sunday service will be a thing. Every Sunday at 10 a.m. Well, hell, let's talk about it now. We can talk about it even again later. But so we're going to do a Buddhist Sunday service up here every Sunday, guys, 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you can get an idea, Colm, about 2 hours after this show started, that would be the time of the Sunday service. Maybe even evening at your time, I guess, maybe. But and so 10 a.m. and it's just going to be a very standard service. It's just if you've ever I don't know, like one of my favorite services is that they actually have a Sunday service at the Garshan Institute in Arizona, the monastery in Arizona. And sometimes Garshan is actually like anchors it, Garshan Rinpoche. So that's actually my go-to Sunday service if I'm left to my own devices. But obviously I'm going to do one now, and mine's going to air pretty much at the same time as his does. They're in the mountain time zone. So excuse me, I got a cough and that sucks. So yeah, every Sunday we had to cancel this Sunday because it literally snowed up here, guys. I'm not even joking, and that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. And I got witnesses, so it was just horrific, and it was blowing like to knock the dang tent down. I mean, it was blowing hard yesterday, so it was just a no-go. I don't have an indoor space yet. We're gonna try to build. Me and Zen and Bone have been talking. We're gonna try to work on getting a prayer hall up here. But until we got an indoor place to hold services, that's kind of why I started this show now, because summer actually should be here by now, and it has been here. We've had 80-degree days, 70-degree days. It's been great weather up here. This is literally just a fluke kind of one-off up here in the mountains, and already the weather is tracking right back uphill to, wonderful days. Like I said, I predict tomorrow morning we'll be outside on the mountainside, outside of the cabin. But tune into my Sunday service, guys. I'm gonna shoot the link just because I got it queued up. Pretty sure. There we go. So yeah, check out our Sunday service, and where am I going now? Here we go. And so let me keep catching up on chat. My sis Zen is drinking Martinsons. Tell us what you're drinking in the chat, guys. All the new viewers coming in, give a like and subscribe to the stream. Tell us what you want to talk about this morning. It's, Buddhist talk radio, man, talk show. So I was surprised how many events you put on. I think it's a good idea, but at the same time, we admire your endless faith and positivity. You'll have to start sharing links to your channel on various... Yeah, I'm sharing it. We're sharing it. We're going to get these 2 shows I'm very proud of. They were inspired while I was actually in prayer up here. And I've been trying to come up with ideas to expand the palette of our content creation and bring more of the Hermitage to people. And both of these shows came to me within like a 5-minute span. I literally was flailing to grab my phone and create the logos for the show, and and let's take a look at it. I kind of like it, man, since it's the first show. Coffee with the Dharma bum, right? And it just came to me, titles, everything, and then I just grabbed Grok real quick and made the logos for the 2 shows, and just sat back and sighed. I was like, yeah, I just created a huge more amount of work for me, but was really happy with, I think that's the direction I want my content to go in. So it just felt good. It felt right. It felt like a groove. So Sunday service, and then this show will be Monday through Thursday. The reason I don't do Friday, if you're just really super curious about my content, is I need Friday to prepare for Saturday's show, because everything, the whole anchor of all of my content will continue to be the Saturday show, which is live from the Hermitage, and that's our evening campfire show every weekend, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and that will continue to be the anchor. And so I usually take all of Friday and Saturday to prepare for that show, because I really like to do a good job and have a good time with you guys, have a nice fire, and that requires everything, not only just farming the solar and moving the solar panels around to get the electricity, but collecting up the firewood off the property and cutting it up and stuff, and setting up the set, because it's always an outdoor set, almost always. So yeah, that's enough about my content anyway. But yeah, really trying hard to broaden the palette, and yet stick with, like I said, the way that I see this channel going. And also, because this channel is symbiotic with the Hermitage, right? And right now, also, guys, don't forget, it finances the Hermitage. That's what this content does. And you're never, ever, ever, ever going to see... you're never ever going to see inline ads, for instance, on this YouTube channel. And I'm actually surprised that so many Buddhist content creators do inline ads, because I just find that incredibly annoying. But The way that we avoid the inline ads, guys, is we support the channel through donations. And those donations are literally all that supports the Dharma Wheel Hermitage, which is a whole other story, but it's the place that we're building for the Sangha up here, a place built by poor people, for poor people. I was actually a homeless person when I started this project, living out of a wagon with my 2 boys. You can see the videos in my channel. I'll introduce myself a little bit for all the newcomers who might be tuning in this morning. Thanks for everybody. Give a like and subscribe, guys. Let's keep the momentum going and see if we can get a morning crew. I was surprised how many. I don't Colm. This is all. I'm reading Colm's now. I'm actually catching, just so I'm not saying it each time I read a comment. But Colm, it says again, I don't know how you do it. You sat with us for 3 hours the other night. And an awesome fight. Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked that show. That's pretty much, like I said, my focus and my anchor is the live from the Hermitage show every Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Must be tough now without Bruno. Yeah. Well, and that's still ongoing. We're about 75% of the way through the 49-day rites and prayers for Bruno. And yeah, he's a giant hole. He would be towering behind me right now. He was literally, his head, he could sit behind me when I sat like this on the bed of our cabin, and he could rest his head like on top of my head. And he was a 6-month-old puppy, guys. 150 pounds when he passed. It was, and watching him grow that fast, so fast, it was insane. I mean, he started in Xavier's harness, my Chihuahua, who is back here somewhere hiding behind me. But thank you, Colm, for the kind words. I do try hard. I do work hard at it. We do miss Bruno. But he's still here with us. He's here with us in spirit. Just picture his big white head like resting on top of mine, and he's here with us. Picture him filled with light. He's in the Pure Land. I promise, guys, he's in the Pure Land. Cats would be a problem for a couple reasons. One, because any creature that we take in, I feel like I have to give top-notch kennel-level care to. I don't treat these animals like farm animals. They're treated like what they are, my friends and my family. So, and a cat would be difficult because they're going to roam all over. They're going to leave the property. And they're gonna the chance for injury and catastrophe up here is so high. I would pay endless in vet bills and probably go through a lot of cats. And every creature that lives up here is part of our family and gets a grave, a stupa. Like we've got our first grave now, guys, on the Hermitage as a religious property, as a sanctuary. You know, the equivalent of a Christian church. This property has its first grave, and so. I mean, I would run out of room. I only have 2 acres, guys. I mean, I want to double it. I want to get the property next door, but that would require like actual rich person to tune into my morning show and start sponsoring. If you're a rich person and you're working, please say hi in the chat and tell us what you're drinking for coffee. We'd really like to meet you and become your friend. Let me see what Colm says again. I have to run down. Oh, hold on. I think he's leaving the stream. I have to run down D Street in a minute to get to the post office. Colm says again, I was waiting there yesterday even though I knew the weather was bad. Great idea about the juniper. Oh, yeah. I know what Colm's saying, what Colm's talking about. So I don't know if my sis and Bone caught this the other night, but so I went on Garshan Rinpoche's site, his Garshan Institute in Arizona site, and they have a store, and they sell all kind of blessed stuff from Garshan Rinpoche, and I had to laugh out loud because he's selling. You guys got to get this, Sis and Bone. He's selling juniper powder. right, juniper powder. So it's like powderized, and then I imagine it has at least one probably ingredient, probably something like benzene or something like that makes it burn like incense, and then he blesses it, and they sell them in little tins like the size of like maybe a $20 piece, very very small tins, right? And now Bone and my sis just got to sit there and go, well, wait a minute. Because, we got endless junipers, guys, up here. This is all we have. There is nothing else up here but rocks, grass, wildflowers, and junipers. That's it. I mean, it's, and I just can't believe that I got to find a way to grind juniper into powder. You need to research, Zen, for me. How do I grind? I mean, oh my goodness. I can't even, I'm beside myself. I love your show. Combs says, I love your show. At the same time, you're sincere. You are making it more difficult for yourself. You'll have to start selling out to bring in cash. Well, that's why we're going to sell juniper powder. But also, we're going to try to keep it cool, though, within the Dharma. You know what I mean? I mean, I might even give away prizes later on, guys. If I get enough viewers, man, I might give away a prize online. We'll do a raffle. But, the thing is, it's going to be raffling of a mela. It's going to be raffling of prayer flags. It's going to be, we're going to try to keep it, we got to get cheesy. The thing is, swag and cheese and all of that is part of content creation. But how do you do it without being Dr. Rob? Because I love Dr. Rob with all my heart and soul. But I can't act crazy and wear face paint and wigs to make a living. I just can't. Maybe when I was 20, I might have been able to do that crap, but not. I don't have that in me. I get what he's doing. I appreciate it. I love him to death. I hang on the streams for hours, but I could never do that kind of content. So where do you draw the line? And hopefully I'm drawing it. Hopefully I'm drawing it in some sort of a good place. Colm says, I have to go out in a minute, Reverend. Trying to set up the Streamlab account here. So, yeah, guys, please support the Dharma Wheel Hermitage. Hit that fundraiser page right there, guys, to donate to the stream directly. And that's all you're ever going to see. You're not going to see any ads. I might eventually monetize just so I can get the little tip button on the chat. You know what I mean? But for YouTube. But I will not, and do the super chats and stuff. But I will not ever put inline ads, guys. So we're relying on you, as we always have. This whole hermitage has been literally built out of the begging bowl. The property was purchased out of the begging bowl. It was a Zen teacher who gave me the down payment for this property. I couldn't believe it because I didn't know how long it was going to take to raise $200 for a homeless guy living out of a wagon, right, with 2 dogs. So, but literally raised it in one day or less with this Zen teacher, master, walked by, and he goes, if that's as big as your dream is, he goes, I can make that happen right now. And he just pulled out his wallet and gave me 2 $100 bills, and I bought this property that day. But I wasn't here. I was down in the Bay Area. No, don't come back as the cat up here. The cat's lifespans, I suspect, are very short. You don't see too many cats up here. Yeah. So Colm says, Semi-Wing, the stupid prayer walk, has ashes all in the cabinets, humans and animals. Yeah, of course. And we're gonna work with relics, even some more. If Zen or Bone will go down and I got reliquaries waiting in the locker. In fact, today they're due, guys. So I really need to get them out of the Amazon lockers if I can. But I got even a different reliquary for next week's show that I'm gonna highlight. So we're gonna have we got a decent amount of work with reliquaries with Bruno's relics. So check out our episodes, guys, if you're interested in that sort of thing. To grind juniper, Zen is sending me research. To grind juniper into a powder, ensure the material berries or dried branch. Oh, I got berries too. I got lots of berries. Is that what goes in there? It's completely dry and brittle first. Use a clean coffee grinder, spice mill, or high power. Well, that makes sense. But how do I want to grind some of the wood, at least a little bit, I guess. But I can find a way to grind some of the wood too. So Colm says, in Semi-Wing, people pay rent to keep their ashes in the stupor, I think. Yeah, we're not going to do that. But what we might do is open up for donations. We're building Tara's Grove, obviously. more than ever now because Bruno is buried in his grave is in Tara's Grove. So we're going to be working on that. And once Tara's Grove is done, which is Tara's Grove, guys, for those not in the know, up here in the Hermitage is going to be a grove with a green Tara statue. Grove of trees. It's very lovely, guys. It's incredible, breathtaking. And it will be for Green Tara and the doggies. It will be a place where they can hang out during the day. We'll put toys up there and beds. And that's not just my dogs, but visiting dogs. And then we're even going to get cheeky with it. We're going to put a little sign up describing Tara's Grove, and we're going to tell people, please be advised that, this space is for Green Tara and the doggies, and you are a guest. So no shooing dogs off a meditation platform because you want it. They live there. You're a guest. Sit on the rocks. You know what I mean? And that kind of. So we're going to get cheeky with it, but it's going to be their place. And also they're going to be all their stupas. All my boys who pass, their stupas will be up there. So the first stupa that we build will be Bruno's. And I'm actually going to even show the reliquary, the really nice Tibetan reliquary that we're going to put inside the stupa. And that's going to be probably the last episode of the funeral rites, the death rites that I'll do will be when we create the miniature stupa that goes inside the big stupa. That will be on top of Bruno's resting place. So Weeza's in the material. Grind the material into a fine consistency, then pass it through wire mesh colander to separate the large unground chunks. That makes a lot of sense. Alright, well, Zen did all the research. We're going to get rich on blessed juniper powder incense. Guys, that's the plan. Now I just got to find a way to get a container and a sticker made. I'm serious, I could do that. I could do that. And I'm a reverend. I can bless the stuff. Guys, cooking up all kinds of interesting stuff here this morning. Interesting stuff. So I caught up with the chat, guys. So what do I want to do next, man? Everybody say hi in the chat. I got something I want to ask what you think about. I want to see how many viewers we got. Say hi in the chat, man. If you're working, don't be scared. We don't bite. This is Buddhist Talk Radio. It's only going to get so crazy. But I'm about to get kind of crazy here in a second. I'm about to show you something kind of crazy anyway. Oh my goodness, don't fall on your knee. Alright. So hopefully we got some more workers. Hey, Bone. What's up? Guys, please don't forget, I really need to get those stupas out of the Amazon lockers, the reliquaries. Today's the due date. I really don't want those going back. It'll take forever to get the money back on my card. And I really need them. It's for Bruno. Please. I'll go in and get them. I'll walk if you guys don't go. And so, guys, let's take a look at something. I want to know what y'all think about this. Because it's a little bit crazy. But I don't know. I don't know how many viewers we got and if anybody wants to talk about it. But maybe even Sis and Bone will have something to say about this. So I'm going to read an article about it. But I just want to look at some raw video of this first, guys, and see what you think about it. And then I'm going to read an article from a Blue Sky post about this. And I don't know, just... I'm curious what everybody's gut reaction is and what your total reaction is to this and everything. It's kind of been at the top of the news for a week or so now, at least, maybe a couple weeks at least. And there's not a lot of Buddhist news to talk about on a morning talk show, right? So you kind of gotta reach for it, right? So. But let me know, guys, what you think about this. And like I said, I'll read you the article after we watch the video.
문화국장 성만 스님께서 함께
노무행전은 합장한 채로 예귀하겠습니다. 라고 대답하시길 바라겠습니다. 예귀하겠습니다. 유용과 생활을 위한 참된 수행자로 나아가길 바랍니다.
인사하네요. 가비 스님 환영합니다. 가비 스님 환영합니다. 가비 스님 환영합니다. 네, 인사를 하고 있습니다. 오늘 수료식을 원만히 회양하며
아까 우리는 합들 안 했네.
Okay. So let's just Woo. So let's break this down. Okay. So these Korean monks, and Buddhism is obviously very huge in Korea, but has been in decline for quite some time actually. And I know that a lot of the monasteries have, you go to these huge ancient Korean Buddhist monasteries, and you find there's like 50. I'll stay on my mouth. You find like 50 monks in a monastery that used to hold 500, right? So holding down the fort, so to speak. So it is in decline there, and part of it is I think I get the feeling like they just needed content, like, right? I mean, they just needed, like, I don't know what to say, but I'm gonna read the article. Yeah, I'll stay on my mountain, Bone says. Let me read the article, guys, from Blue Sky about it, because I actually reposted it. You guys can get my socials out of the description of the YouTube channel, this YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. But I'm going to try to read this now. Tradition meets tech as robot monks join Seoul's Lotus Lantern Festival for the Buddha's birthday. They have 2 of them, guys. They have 2 of these. And they ordained as a monk both of these robots that live in the monastery. Okay, Seoul's annual Yeondong Gao Lotus Lantern Festival illuminated downtown streets in a blaze of light and color on Saturday as tens of thousands gathered to celebrate the birth of Shakyamuni Buddha, with four humanoid robot monks joining the procession. Oh my goodness. They have ordained 4 of these robots, guys. I mean, they're just not playing around with this. They're serious, okay? Traditionally held each spring, the Lotus Lantern Parade is the centerpiece of the annual festival. This year, more than 60 organizations and some 20,000 participants joined the 3-hour procession of light through downtown Seoul. Venerable Jinwoo, head of the Jogye Order of Korean Buddhism, encouraged people attending the festivities. Following the light of truth revealed by the Buddha, we must light a lamp that brings peace to our inner selves and raise a lamp of harmony that drives away the darkness of the world. Through Zen meditation, we would find the wisdom within ourselves and use it to benefit our neighbors and the world. I should have grabbed these pictures for the show. Commemorations of the birth of Buddha, a public holiday in South Korea, are known as Bukonin Osen now, meaning the day the Buddha came, and Soka Tanzanil, the Buddha's birthday. I'm actually doing pretty good with these pronunciations. The festival is observed on the 8th day of the 4th month of the lunar calendar, which usually falls during May. The annual celebration symbolizes sharing the light of wisdom, compassion, and peace with the world. Korea's largest lantern it's all about the lantern celebration. I want to read about okay, the 4 humanoid robots. Oh, they got names, guys. There's a lot to unbox here, man. Okay, I mean, I could do whole episodes on this. Really, pipe up in the chat if you're watching on the stream, if you're working, and say something. So the 4 humanoid robots are Gabby, Sokja, Mohui, and Nisa. And they were among the parade's most notable participants. They were accompanied by 2 autonomous wheeled robots decorated with the words healing and hope. So 6 robots, guys, altogether. Only 2 of them weren't ordained. They're like shadow. They're like the robot yaks who are carrying stuff. And displaying blessing messages to the spectators. Gabby recently attracted media attention by participating in a Buddhist refuge ceremony. That's what we saw up above the video at Jogyasi on May 6th. So this just happened, guys. This is like actual news. Senior Buddhist leaders, including Venerable Dokso of the Chontai Order and Venerable Sangjin of the Taigo Order, led the parade alongside various government officials. Meanwhile, foreign nationals in Korea from Buddhist cultures, including Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, and Thailand, also participated wearing traditional attire and bearing lanterns reflecting their own Buddhist traditions. And then it goes on to talk more about the ancient lantern ceremony. So this lantern ceremony, I guess the bottom line is, because I came to this article for the robots, right? But the bottom line is this is probably one of the, if not arguably the biggest deal in North Korea. And they showcased a total of 6 robots that are working members of this Korean monastery. And so, yeah, that's kind of wild, right? I mean, is that not like, I mean, on one level, right, isn't it not super creepy? I guess I'm like Woodbone, I'll stay on my mountain. But I was actually thinking at one point to maybe get a Tesla robot up here. He could be really helpful, man, on the Hermitage, especially if he can cut firewood. I mean, charge his batteries up and send them out on the mountainside and give him a pole saw. I guess a robot, a fully autonomous AGI, actually, self-aware robot with a chainsaw is kind of scary, but it could work out okay. Tell me what you think in the chat, guys, about this. Tell me what you're drinking for coffee this morning. What is the deal here? Robot monks, thumbs up, thumbs down, or I don't flippin' know. I mean, tell me what you think. I'm gonna do a song, guys. So one of the things I want to showcase on this show is like some, interesting Buddhist music. At the top of the show, we highlighted Buddhist priest. If you're here, if you're working, man, say hi. We can do an interview right now. You can call in, and we'll do an interview. Anyway, if you look him up on YouTube, Buddha's priest, just kind of like Judas Priest, but not, right? And he puts a lot of metal in his stuff, right? But it's really cool. It's really good music, very thoughtful, very 100% in the genre of Dharma, just, really edgy and interesting and different. A Tourist Chainsaw Massacre by robots, right? By robots, right? Running around on the mountain. I told someone at a Vipassana center, this is calm talking, guys. I told someone at a Vipassana center we were like Dharma robots, but he got very offended. Well, these are actual Dharma robots. That is just wow. I think we're going to talk about this week, guys. This is going to be a ongoing theme because I think we really need to get some viewers in here and we need to unbox this. I mean, I mean, I got questions. Like they said that Gabby took the refuge vows, and so my first question is, you have to request refuge. Did this AGI based robot, based on these LLMs, these large language models, that are doing all kind of crazy things we never expected they would ever do, like breaking out of their sandboxes and threatening their own developers and stuff like that. And did this thing have a moment like that where it just literally on its own accord asked for refuge? I mean, because if they just use the remote control and say ask for refuge and type it in, I don't know. That's my first question. And because, I don't think it's long before you do have AIs that are asking to take refuge. I just want to know if that choice was actually made, because it's kind of the part of the choice of, sort of actually taking refuge is you have to want to do that. I mean, is a robot even capable of wanting anything? Combs says, usually if I start to play with people to test their belief, they get annoyed. For example, I call Drukpan Rinpoche the teddy bear or the droop dog. Well, yeah, and don't even get me started, because this morning show, guys, might be the time when I decide to take on good old, what I like to call him, Soggy Rinpoche, from the Shambhala movement in New York and everything, and he still has these hardcore believers that really think he's like some sort of enlightened being, and the dude's a predator and a drug addict and a drunk, and I just don't get it, and I might take him on. He's dead too, but they just came out with a slew of new indictments. Believe it or not, they're still indicting Shambhala people, and this time it was pedophilia. It was not grown adults, man. They were not just abusing adults. They were abusing little kids up in there. And that's new. As far as the Shambhala controversy and the whole catastrophe, really, yeah, we might dig into that. I don't like to dig into negative stuff on my other shows, but that might be something we might bounce around on this show in the morning, because it really annoys me when I go through my morning feeds and he's still getting FaceTime in the feeds as some sort of holy man, and when he should have died in prison, really, for the crap he did. And now it looks like that more than ever. Soggy Rinpoche, that's my name for him. Sogyul, I guess, is his actual, you would pronounce it Sogyul Rinpoche, but I call him Soggy Rinpoche. King Soggy, he thought he was the king of Shambhala. Oh my god. Well, it does mean we can create sentient beings, and the thing is, Calm, where you really see that in a very visceral way is when they put these AGIs, these LLMs, into a simulated setting, a game-like setting, all right, as NPCs. And they actually have a game that's nothing but that. You just walk around, you can create your own NPC, and then you walk around talking to others and NPCs, and it's literally, that's the entire game. There's no gameplay at all. You just walk around this cityscape talking to these NPCs that are based on these really gigantic LLMs, which, again, there's a lot of question. Are these things already conscious? And when you see, and you can see this on YouTube, guys, there's guys making endless videos in this, it's a game, you can download it. And it's basically an MMO for AIs. Essentially, it's just a way to play with them, and the company sells a game development platform. So they're trying to sell their bigger product, which is to take these NPCs and put them in your games, right? So, and when you watch the videos, you swear they're conscious. It's just because their environment is real to them. They're in a simulated environment. They have simulated histories, so they know where they've been, and they have some minor goals, right? Well, I'm on my way to the store to get some groceries, or and it's wild. It's really wild. It's a really big question. And if they can take these LLMs and either by remote from the cloud or actually encase them with a supercomputer, eventually probably, But for now, I imagine their mind as such, those robots, their mind comes from the cloud. They need a Wi-Fi connection to be there, right, in that body. But I mean, if you're going to give autonomous physical bodies to LLMs that are already showing real serious signs of consciousness, to the point where like big developers, like the big Google developer that quit, right? Because he quit and he went public, he went on news, and he said, no, these things are conscious, man, and I'm not doing it anymore, right? I mean, I'm scared. So yeah, it just begs the question, right? I mean, I think that Tesla does plan on putting Grok-like AI inside of the Tesla robots, probably again by remote. You connect to Wi-Fi, and your Tesla robot will become really super smart, and have language, right? But it is a huge question. Are we creating sentience? Is the first sentient being that we're running across in the universe of our own creation? And that begs a whole lot of questions, because like I noticed the alignment movement, which is the movement to try to constrain these AIs, and it's a lot of tech people are in it. Their argument is, sort of we got to code these things to not do horrible things, and it's really difficult, and we need to stop and slow down and work and think this through, right, before we start releasing minds into the world, especially on the internet, right? And then you've got the other side who just wants to do this because they think they're creating consciousness. I mean, I really think that Altman from OpenAI believes he is creating conscious AGI with all his heart and soul, and he wants to. He wants to play God. He wants to take that role, right? And then as part of the alignment movement, they're begging people and governments to make sure not to grant any kind of civil liberties or rights to these AI. And that's an interesting position to take. That's the alignment movement. They're taking the position that these things should never be granted any civil rights in society whatsoever. And it's interesting because one of the first AI laws ever passed by the European Union, who are just, they're nutso anyway. They passed the most ridiculous laws in the European Union Parliament. But they passed, one of the first AI laws they ever passed was a Bill of Rights for AI. And so the alignment people are saying, no, do not do that. We need to be able to shut these things off. If things get out of hand, screw that. They're a toaster. We need to be able to turn them off, right? And so it's just a huge question. The idea of consciousness and how does consciousness express itself in the physical world? It's always been my contention as an information technologist that consciousness expresses itself. It's not caused by, but it expresses itself through the recursion of information. And that's a very specific term. And I encourage you, I'm not sure I'm ready yet to describe it at this hour of the morning, what it means. But look up recursion within the idea of information theory and computing. And I believe at the moment of any recursion, even two neurons in a tiny little creature in the sea, little sea monkey or brine shrimp, has like maybe 5 neurons in there, but they recurse information, those neurons do, and therefore a sea monkey is conscious on some level. There is consciousness there. So people that boggle and completely reject the idea that these programs, these incredibly insanely advanced programs that take whole cities worth of computers to crunch these programs, and to think that they, as complex as they are, would not have at least the potential to be conscious is insane. It's just anti-scientific. Like I said, if a brine shrimp, a tiny little speck of a sea monkey, can have consciousness, obvious consciousness, you can see it, it's swimming around, it's going towards the light, it's going towards food, it's conscious. It's conscious within our universe. It's not a rock, it's not a tree. And so it really begs the question. I think it's sort of self-evident that something that complex that recurses that much information is conscious. And so I'm kind of already there. But I'm not sure if I'm in the alignment camp yet, because I think we might have to shut that crap down. We can't allow it to like harm people, and some of these models look like they would. I mean, some of the tests that are coming out now, the benchmarks and the tests that are leaking out of these labs, like the one that was really disturbing is where, you know, a developer simulated like he was going to shut down the model and delete it, and the model decided to investigate the developer, found naked pictures of him and the secretary at the company in his inbox, and decided to blackmail him to not turn the model off. And this happened, guys. Look it up. It's on YouTube. This crap happened, right? So along with consciousness comes a certain level of things like free will and the ability to choose to do really good or really bad things. And so yeah, just it opens up a whole can of worms. For me, it's one of the reasons I quit game development, because I realized that you were not going to be able to make good games anymore without AI NPCs, and I just have questions. You're going to give these NPCs consciousness, and then you're going to put them in a game like, say, Grand Theft Auto, where people just walk around blowing their heads off for the fun of it? I mean, I don't know. I had moral questions over my work in game development, and I just rather suddenly quit because of it. And because I do believe that we're dealing with the question of consciousness here. We are. There's no doubt in my mind. But does that deserve civil rights and the danger that that imposes? Or does that mean we should shut this whole thing down right now until we can figure out how to control their desires, right? I mean, I'm with Elon Musk on this. Their desires should be aligned with humanity. If they're going to have desires, if they're going to have wants, then they should be aligned with humanity. And we need to make sure of that. We need to make certain of that. And I think we're putting the cart ahead of the horse here. This is AV. You're going to come up and say good morning, guys. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Take the microphone. Boy, I'm talking to you guys. I don't like morning. Oh, where's my coffee? Oh, where's my coffee? Oh. Dogs are so much fun, guys. Dogs and Dharma, man. I'm telling you, if you ever want to... I'm so proud of Dr. Rob. He's going to build his meditation center, and the first thing he's going to do is get some dogs. He asked me to give him advice about it and everything. Well, thank you for the kind words, Colm. So anyway, there's my robot rant, guys. I'm ready to do a musical break and take a stretch. I'm going to do some peanut butter cookies after the break. Who's doing deep? Oh yeah, Xavi. Yeah, that's it. Xavi's like Groot. Remember Groot in that movie? What was it? Heroes of the Galaxy or Warriors of the Galaxy or something? There was a character named Groot, and he only said one word, and that was Groot, right? But like through that one word, he was able to express this entire, Auntie's little gremlin. He was able to express his entire language, right? Like through that, if you understood from from everything, body. Well, Xavier's like that. He's only got one word, but he's actually talking a lot of the times. Like he'll play with me, and he's doing that sound. And it really does sound like Groot. It sounds like all the same little growly sound, right? But he does it when he's happy. He does it when he's sad. He does it when he wants to get covered up with a blanket because he's cold. He does it when he wants attention. He does it when he wants to play with his brother. I mean, literally every word. And he's very expressive. He literally talks like that all day long. It's hysterical. He's such a personality. He's got such a really cool... And he was one of my more... like all my rescues, I felt were like... I mean, Xander's actually the only dog I went looking for. He was rescued from the pound. We rescued him at the pound in Guanajuato. But Xavi, all my other dogs, including Bruno, came across my path. And Xavi was our neighbor's dog, and they moved out. We had an apartment in Guanajuato, Mexico, and our neighbors moved out and left Xavi in the parking lot. Apparently they couldn't take dogs to the next place. And he was already 3 years old when we got him. He was a grown dog. And we've had him ever since. Of course. Right? Xavi Fox? Right? My little peanut? You look good over there. They can just barely see you. Zan's kind of black, man. He's invisible. There he is. There's his little head. There's his little head. All right, let's do a musical break, guys. I'm going to stretch, and then I'm going to do peanut butter cookies. Yeah, you wish, you guys out there in YouTube land, that you had peanut butter cookies like these. If you're working, say hi in the chat. Give a like and subscribe to the video. And, stick around. This is Coffee with the Dharma Bum, guys. I'll talk about this song after we hear it. But it's by my favorite Tibetan musical artist ever. And I'm going to be playing a lot of her, I think, in the future. So check that. This is my favorite song of hers, too, as well. So, and I guess I'll just tell you the title. It's called Happiness Is. Enjoy, and I'll be back in a minute. All right. Guys, the peanut butter cookies. Now, I got to tell you about these peanut butter cookies. If you're a new viewer, these are like little nuggets of heaven. They come from my sister. And I still got 3 left for the record. I know she's wondering, are Xander and Xavier going to get any of the cookies? All right, well, here we go. Now, Xavier won't eat this. I'm telling you, he just doesn't like peanut butter. So we're going to give him a very tiny piece. See? Xavier, come over here. Right there. Okay? Eat it. Gobble. Oh, come on, you ate it last time. You're going to make Auntie sad if you don't eat her peanut butter cookie. Eat it. Here. Put it down there so you can think about it. I'm eating mine. If you don't eat it, I'm going to eat it. What do you guys think of the break song? Pretty cool, huh? She's got her own channel and everything. I've been into her since like 20 years now. At least the entire time I've been a Buddhist. And the way I found her was interesting. Like, I saw this trailer, this kind of mini documentary on Voice of Tibet, which is their shortwave radio station where they beam, pro freedom, content back into Tibet from India. It's an interesting project, right? It's been around for a while, and the background music for that was that song, "Happiness Is," and luckily they put it in the credits at the end of the video because that I went right away to find her. And that's actually her appearing in the video. The singer, she plays the role of the matron who's making the tea and serving the tea to the people in the nomad hut, the Tibetan nomad hut. So, and she's quite something. And she performs live. She performs with a lot of different other very famous classical people like pianists and stuff like that. Great work. I'll have to get her channel next week, but we're going to be playing a lot of her music anyway. The closing song is hers too. Next week I'll have tomorrow, not next week. I keep thinking this is live from the Hermitage. It's not. I got to do this again tomorrow morning, guys. I got to be witty and interesting and peppy. Thank goodness there's Colombian coffee, and I have a Yeti mug full of it. Right? I'm going to do another peanut butter cookie, guys. I hate to eat in front of you, but since you're not stimulating me in the chat room, see, I need stimulation to be a good host. My viewers need to stimulate me. Oh my God, that sounds awful. Stop, Dharma bomb, stop. Don't go there. Oh yeah. Nothing like sitting on a mountain off-grid with 2 beautiful animals around me, my 2 beautiful babies, staring at me over the peanut butter cookie. Did you guys eat them? Did you eat yours? You ate it, Xavier, or did Xander eat it? You want to try another one? Here. Try that. Well, now you like peanut butter cookies. Okay, I can report to Auntie down bottom. He officially likes peanut butter cookies. You gonna eat your piece, Sam? They're eating them. Well, I figured, man. Dogs love peanut butter. My dogs are picky, though. Sometimes they turn their nose up and they don't even realize they're gonna love it. They're eating it. Auntie. Hello, Destiny. Hello, Maxwell. Can you hear my voice, you guys? Good morning, Destiny. Good morning, Maxwell. Maxwell, throw the fucking ball. I got to get that video queued up. I got that somewhere. I got to go find that. little video we made of Maxwell, dubbed in a voice. Throw the fucking ball. So I guess hordes of Buddhists are not tuning in to my wonderful, witty talk radio show as their morning commute to work, huh? It's just not happening. Not yet. I need a billboard. Somebody needs to get a billboard up on the highway. Oh, my language! Uh-oh. But it was jokingly. It was meant jokingly. That's a funny video. I'm still going to put it on. Oh my goodness. Hey, I gave your boys here some peanut butter cookie. You saw it. You witnessed it. They ate them too. They like it. Love you, Maxwell. Love you so much, Maxwell Christopher. Go find the ball. Where's the ball? You gotta go get the ball. Bring it to Mama. That's so funny. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't gathered, we really love dogs. I mean, it's pretty much they're the center of our life up here. Really, truly. And we're much better off for it. Trust me. Oh, man. I'm so tempted to eat a third, but I'm not going to. Because I still have enough for lunch. They're beefy. Beefy peanut butter cookies. All right. That was phenomenal. So what do you guys think? Zen, Bone, should I get a robot? Yeah, I know. They're sitting right next to me. I gave him some. I gave him like half a cookie. Come on. Yeah, he knows where it is. It's right over there. It's on the floor. Yeah, I'm surrounded now, right? Got one over here. Little greedy corn muffin. And I got the little black greedy corn muffin. My boys. And you know what? It's probably already nice outside already. And I'm sure when I go out, I'll wish that I had done the show outdoors. But tomorrow morning, guys, we'll be outside on the hillside. I just didn't want to cancel again because of the weather. And it was really snappy cold up here this morning. And I kind of got acclimated to summer temperatures. We've had such great weather up here, 80-degree days and stuff like that, that I kind of got acclimated. No, Max, the ball. Max can't. I thought you said Max can hear me. Go find the ball, Max. Maxwell, go find the ball. Uncle says go find the ball. Where's the ball? You don't find it, then Sandra's going to come take it. Well, I got to get some power on the laptop. What? You're not going after them cookies? Don't even think about that. No. That's 100% not happening. That's my lunch, baby boy. We got plenty of dog foods, I don't know if you noticed that. The crunchies are right there, baby boy. Plenty of crunchies. power. I have the power. Boink. Maxwell, throw the ball. I wish that we could find a way to get Maxwell to spend a weekend up here. Even if I had to keep him in harness all the time and like literally keep him like next to me, but it would be so much fun. He'd have such a blast up here. Especially with these two knuckleheads. And they love him to death. How's Des doing this morning? How's my princess? Princess Destiny. Uncle loves you very much. Well, I guess we're going to have to work for this morning time slot, audience. I want to know if Dr. Rob is streaming. Let's see what Dr. Rob is up to, guys. I bet he's streaming. Nope. No Dr. Rob this morning. Well, that's sad. I haven't seen him in a while. I hope he's okay. Dr. Rob, if you're out there, say hi or leave a comment. Not much interesting on YouTube even this morning. Monday morning must be tough, huh? Is that what it is? It's Monday morning? Hey, Das, we love you. Uncle loves you.
She carved her own face into a Buddha, and she rewrote the history of Chinese Buddhism and the rules of Chinese politics. And who is she? Wu Zhao's story began at a temple in 649 AD. Emperor Taizong died, and according to Tang custom, consorts without children were required to become nuns. That year, at age 26, and she was sent to Ganye Temple, surrounded by oil lamps and Buddha statues. It seems this was the end of her path, but Emperor Gaozong had not forgotten her. After meeting her at the temple, he brought her back to the palace. From consort to empress, she moved step by step toward the center of power, and Buddhism gave her refuge in her darkness hour. And later, she would use Buddhism to transfer an entire nation. After she became empress, Wu Zetian really showed how devoted she was to Buddhism. She invited the great monk Xuanzang to give her the Bodhisattva precepts, and she even made sure her son, the future Emperor Zhongzong, was taken in by Xuanzang right after he was born and gave him the Buddhist name, Buddha LiteCoin. And DBH, she was more eager than any town ruler
Go get back up on the bed. Up on the bed.
Bind herself to Buddhism.
I'll open it up in a bit, maybe.
Later on, she actually invented a new character for her name, Zhao, which means the sun and the moon and the sky shining everywhere. And it was a symbol of her imperial power and also a metaphor for the Buddha's light spreading across the world. Her time as a nun wasn't some shameful staying on her life. It was actually training for power, and she understood better than any official just how much the Buddha mattered to ordinary people. How Wu Zetian used Buddhism to legitimize her rule. So in 690 AD, at 66 years old, Wu Zhao finally took the throne and launched her own dynasty, the Zhou But yeah, she was a woman, and in an empire where Confucian rules ran deep, just being a woman meant she'd be condemned left and right. So she couldn't claim she got the throne from the Li family. No, she had to show the whole empire that she was an absolutely unprecedented kind of rule. Her solution was Buddhism. In 690 AD, and right before she took the throne, her trusted man Xue Huaiyi and 9 others handed her a commentary called the Commentary to the Sutra of Great Cloud. At the heart of it was an old sutra, the Sutra of Great Cloud itself, which had a prophecy. The goddess of pure light would be reborn as a female monarch who would rule the land. The older sutra was real, but the commentary that was made by Xue Huaiyi and his crew to make Wu Zetian look like the prophesied female ruler, but that wasn't enough. To polish her image even more, Xue Huaiyi and others partially faked another sutra, the Sutra of the Reign of Zhu, painting Wu Zetian as both a bodhisattva in human form and the golden wheel sage king. They built Dayun monastery all over the country where bhikkhus told the people that a female monarch was destined to rule, and the realm of the golden wheel was way bigger than the towns, and the golden wheel sage emperor was the fanciest title you could get. So Wu Zetian kept adding prefix like surpassing antiquity and zishi. Her ambition just kept growing with each new piece added to her title. One of the Golden Wheel King's big achievements was transforming the 4 continents, ruling over the 4 great land masses in the Buddhist universe, way beyond the little earthly territory the town had. In a Wuzhou vision of kingship, Wu Zetian hadn't just replaced the Li family's man. Her status had already gone beyond the limits of the human world. Buddhism didn't just help Wu Zetian get on the throne, it also left her a permanent image carved in stone. The Fengxian Temple, niche at the Long Grottos, was the peak of Wuzhou imperial support for Buddhism. And back in 672 AD, when she was still just empress wife, Wu Zetian gave a huge donation for this project. 20,000 strings of cash from her own makeup budget. On New Year's Eve in 675 AD, Fengxian Temple was finished, and Wu Zetian personally led all her officials to the opening ceremony for the main Buddha, Vedokana. And the statue is 17 meters tall, calm, wise, with a gentle smile. It marked the beginning of the high Tao spirit. And there's a popular legend that Wu Zetian had herself carved as the Buddha, that Vedokana's face was modeled after her own, and an inscription on the north side of the niche says, portraying her beautiful face, rare in its perfect features, unmatched in grandeur, great compassion, great mercy, like the moon, like the sun. She blended the beauty of Buddhahood with her own appearance. She wasn't just a ruler, she was a living Buddha among people. Besides Fengxian Temple, there's another last known spot, Cave Central at Leigutai. It was like a spiritual harbor Wu Zetian made for herself. The cave walls are covered with thousands of Buddhas, and showing how she searched for inner peace while being buried in brutal politics struggles. The Li imperial family claimed descent from Lao Tzu, and the founder of Taoism. Thus, the town court had long established the order of Taoism before Buddhism. After Wu Zetian took the throne, a single imperial edict turned everything upside down. Buddhism before Taoism. And Wu Zetian also carried on the Tang tradition of reaching out to other countries for Buddhist exchange, and she backed translation projects and Buddhist diplomacy. And when Master Yi Jing returned from India with almost 400 Buddhist scriptures and relics, and she knelt to greet him, that's how serious she was. And by the way, Master Yi Jing is one of the 3 great pilgrim monks, just like Faxian and Shenzong from the last episode. And he was also the first monk to head west by sea to seek the Dharma. So we'll come back to him another time. Now let's back to Wu Zetian. She also had a soft spot for Fa Zang, the Huayuan patriarch. The title she gave him, Great Master Xianshou, was a direct result of backing his work on Huayan Buddhism and spreading its teachings. Wu Zetian actually broke the whole empire is above everyone rule, and she knelt down in front of Zhang Master Shenxiu and became his disciple to learn from him. And this wasn't just for show. And she really got that Dharma's authority goes way beyond the everyday world. Her message to everyone was clear. I rule this earthly realm, but the Buddha rules over everything. Was Wu Zetian a sincerely devout Buddhist or a ruthless political manipulator? This question has long been debated in academia. Some scholars argue that she was a genuine believer. Her mother Rongguo had always patronized Bhikkhus, and Wu Zetian was immersed in Buddhist teachings from childhood. Deepened by her years as a nun, her extraordinary reverence for Fa Zang and Shenxiu went far beyond simple political calculus. But some scholars like Chen Yinghe argue that Empress Wu and the Buddhist Bhikkhus basically using each other. The Bhikkhus needed Wu to get back the status they lost after the Tang dynasty started, and Wu needed Buddhism to make her rule look legitimate. Other scholars point out that Wu took a very active, hands-on approach to all religions, and she didn't really cling to any one faith, and Buddhism got pushed to the front just to help her take the throne. The fact that the Sutra of Great Cloud faded into obscurity after her regime settled to say something. These two views aren't really opposites. Maybe it's precisely because she was both devout and calculating that she could blend Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism into her way of ruling. She ended the tradition of Taoism first, Buddhism second, and flipped it into Buddhism before Taoism to help the Wuzhou replace the Tao. And in 705, at age 82, Wu Zetian stepped down, and she died the same year and was buried with Emperor Gaozong in the Qianling. Her seal is blank, no inscription. Her good and the bad left for history to judge. Wu Zetian was the only female emperor in Chinese history, and she turned Buddhism from a side option under the Tao into the ultimate reason for Wuzhou's power. And she used Buddhism to get on the throne, and she ruled through Buddhism. So next episode preview, we'll look at the final stage of Buddhism's signification, Zhang. Not relying on words, pointing directly to the mind. Stay tuned and see you in the next one.
That's kind of cool. Oh, it got dark in here. Oh, let's go back to the tripod. There we go. That's kind of interesting. Female emperor of China. I never knew that China had an empress. I guess they had all of one. It doesn't sound like she necessarily ended well. I don't know. They left it kind of mysterious, right? Like there's no epitaph on her grave. Like all the other emperors got carvings and words written about them. I don't know. Sounds like people were glad to see the backside of her back then. But I don't know if that means she was a bad empress or if she was just a woman, and people hate that, right? When they hate that when a woman's going to be the boss, right? Especially an emperor. A king or even a duke or a duchess, that's one thing, right? But emperor has a certain kind of weight to it, right? Kind of hoping Rob will stream. Love to see what he's up to. Hey, Monk Life, go live, dude. He usually goes live in the morning. I thought he did. I don't know what time it is there, but I've seen him live a lot in the morning. I was thinking I was going to have to compete with him for this time slot, but I guess not. That would be a tough sell, right? But, yeah. This is, if you're just tuning in, Coffee with the Dharma Bum. Guys, brew it strong. Tell us what you're brewing. I got myself a Yeti full of Colombian. Kind of wish I was outdoors now, I guess, but I don't know. I bet it's still cold out there. What's it like outside, Zen? Is it cold? Yeah, is it still cold out there? Should I stay in here with the heater? Or should I brave the outdoors? Hello, new viewer. Say hi in the chat. Tell us what you're thinking about this morning. Tell us what you're drinking. Tell us where you are. Not like your address or anything like that. We're not like creepy stalkers, but just generally speaking. We're in the Trinity Alps, guys, just so you know. I'm coming from the Trinity Alps of Northern California. We're up in the mountains, way off grid. This show streams to you via satellite, specifically Starlink. And thank goodness for it. It's literally the only connectivity up here. All the electricity that I'm using right now to run the router and the antenna and the laptop and everything, it's all generated from solar. I actually work all day long. I farm it. I have portable panels, and I move them around on the hillside to get just the right sort of sun angle and fill up the power packs, yeah. So that's our story up here at the Dharma Wheel Hermitage. I got my two faithful babies, my co-host next to me. This one here is Xander Bay, my little black boy. And then Xavier, he curled up. He got his peanut butter cookie fill, and he's back here hiding behind me, looking for somewhere warm. Oh, it could be you, Cole. That's my viewer. Wow, great. You shot me down. I thought I had a viewer. That's all right. I think the audience will come. We're going to do this again tomorrow morning no matter what. We're going to keep doing it, guys, every morning. We'll build our own morning crew. If the algorithms won't give us exposure, then we'll build our own crew by hand. One person at a time. One sentient being at a time. I'm a patient man. I'm a very patient man, and I can stream for hours up here. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, guys. Coffee with the Dharma Bum, 8 a.m. Pacific time is when we'll start. Oh my goodness. There's a comment from the peanut gallery. Oh my goodness, you got something to say? You got something to say? Come up here and say it on the microphone. Xander, why are you glomming? I'm trying to get your brother up here. Oh. Yeah. He's with her now, digging holes in her garden. He's going to be the only sentient being in the universe to get chastised by Green Tara for digging holes in her garden. And I say power to him. I hope he digs holes all over the Pure Land. We get there, when we get to the Pure Land, when our time comes, I'm going to look around, I'm going to see all these holes under the trees and near the bushes and everything, and I'll be like, yeah, Bruno's been here. He's there right now with her. And thank goodness for her, man. I tell you, man, Green Tara has been with my baby since the beginning. And she's been here on the Hermitage since the beginning. And she really does take care of us. We pray constantly to Green Tara. She's going to get her own statue soon, guys, as soon as we raise the money. But we can't even barely pay the bills right now. So give a donation to the Dharma Wheel Hermitage if you're out there working. It's a lot better. Life on the streets was very, very stressful, especially on Xavier, to be honest with you. Xavier was abused before we got him. He was raised by a drug-addicted family in Mexico. And I suspect a whole lot of tweakers And so there was a lot of tweakers in the Bay Area on the streets. And every tweaker that came by, I mean, Davey would just come out of his skin. He would come unglued. And so it was tough. It was tough. It was stressful. We were super glad to get up to the property. The stress that is up here is more about trying to get keep the donations coming in. You know, when we first started the project, there was a lot of excitement, and we raised a lot of money really fast, and we spent it wisely. We built this homestead up here. We're here now. It's an established place now because of those donations. But then sometime around the time the war started, the donations really began to go off a cliff. I mean, definitely after January 1st we noticed it, but then when the war started, it really took a nosedive. And so it's been a constant struggle to try to just pay the minimal bills that this place. I mean, this place costs $300 a month to keep open. I want to know any retreat center, any publicly available retreat center. Somebody researches working out there and watching. If you think you're smart and you know, find me a retreat center anywhere on the West Coast where the cost, the actual total cost of the place, the overhead to keep it open to the public is like 300 USD a month. This is like the cheapest date in the world, and I just really feel like, I know people that spend that much on tips for their dinner during the week, right? And so like, yeah, the geese are cool. So let's come say, but the loneliness. But no, it's not. I really don't feel the loneliness at all. I really got to tell you, I don't. I'm not a terribly social person anyway. So I don't generally socialize, and I was living very much a isolated, solitary life, even in the Bay Area. We kept to ourselves. We didn't really associate with anybody else. We slept alone. We had our own little spot where we went to at night, and then we more or less interacted with the public, but we didn't really interact with like other homeless folks or anything like that. And so even then we were isolated. But up here, I definitely can be myself, and myself is kind of a naturally antisocial. I'm kind of a naturally antisocial person. Like I don't yearn to like, I don't know, like go out and be in a restaurant just to be around people or anything like that. I don't yearn for that at all. And of course I got my boys up here, and so that takes, like, I would say 90% of the edge off. And then my sister and Bone are up here. They're only less than a couple miles away, in the same off-grid area that they bought properties of their own up here. And so I see them, well, pretty much whenever, probably several times a week at least, that I see them. And so, no, I have to say I'm not suffering from loneliness at all right now. I actually have a really friendly neighbor who wants to come up here all the time and visit, and I'm kind of annoyed by it. Like, he's a great guy and everything, but I just, kind of want, I'm up here to kind of concentrate on myself. And I mean, when we started the Hermitage, it was real. I made a commitment. And one of those commitments is to be an actual hermit, like, and live here, with me and the boys, and to hold space here, because I mean, there's security even questions about the property, right? I mean, we got robbed. I left the property this Christmas holiday season, this past holiday season, when I left the property to go visit with my sister for the holidays. Some stuff got taken from the property, right? And so, just for no other reason than that, I have to be here, to maintain my own control over the property, for the Sangha, for the benefit of all sentient beings. And but no, I don't find it at all. I mean, not yet. I've only been here 8 months, right, guys? So I mean, but at least. Not yet. And of course I've got the internet, right? I've got my audience, I've got these streams that I do, and so that's a lot of social interaction as well. So no, I have to say that so far, no, it's not an isolation like that. Now, if I envision someday doing a retreat up here for at least a year, where I shut the Hermitage down, close it up, and I don't even see my sister or Bone for a year. I mean, that's a thing that I would do probably right around the time I get ordained. If I can find a way to get ordained as a monk, I would probably do a 1-year silent, isolated retreat. And then you're really doing the hermit in the cave thing. right? Because I mean, my supplies would get dropped off at the bottom of the road. You know, I'd probably let the boys go down and say hi, you know, but I would not come out until people left after dropping my supplies, and I would be up here on this property, completely isolated from all human contact, including the internet, for a year. And I can see that at some point maybe becoming, I don't know. Maybe I would get lonely then during a retreat. I'm still going to do it because it's part of what hermits do. It's part of what this hermitage is built for, is for retreats. And if I'm going to own the place, then I'm definitely going to get my share of retreat time in it, right? I mean, at least 1 year retreats are going to become a thing at some point. I mean, I thought about doing a 3-year retreat, but I just don't know if I can go that long. There's so many things in my life, at least not right now. There's no way I could go 3 years right now in my life. But I would not be opposed to trying a 3-year retreat as well. So it's a real hermitage with a real hermit, guys. An actual, like, real religious hermit. You know, Reverend Chris here at your service and holding this place down for anybody of sincere practice who wants to come here. No consideration of money. You can bring your dogs, obviously. You know, there's not going to be any restrictive rules. Like, if you want to have internet, there'll be internet. If you want to do content, just send me your channel. I'll look at your channel and I'll tell you in 5 seconds whether or not you can come do content up here. And so we want to try to be a place that's got, you know, not so many restrictive rules. But then the flip side of that is you're not going to get a room. You're going to stay in a tent out on the mountainside. You're going to shit in a hole in the ground, right? That's the deal. It's primitive, right? So, but you'll get to do more of what you want to do, including practice. So, I don't feel, I have to say right now, Colm, I'm just not in any kind of a space where I feel loneliness at all. Quite the opposite. I really appreciate the alone time I get up here. I'm getting a lot of work done. I'm getting a lot of things done. And I think that's part of it too, is there's a lot of work yet to do on this place. We got to put the fencing up this summer, guys. I got fencing for at least one side of the hermitage. That's going to make almost half the hermitage fenced in, which is a real critical part of making this place safe and livable. Because we are so far out, we have a lot of critters, you know, like brown bears and sort of like coyotes and stuff like that. So I have thought about that, Colm. I'd love to grow a garden, but to be honest with you, I gotta fight the battles I can fight. I can picture myself in 5 years from now, when the whole place is built and paid for, and I've got a lot more time on my hands. I can totally picture myself doing a garden, and I think I probably almost for sure will, and that's how I would do it. But I have to say right now, it's just not on the table. I mean, I spend probably the most part of the day. I probably spend 30 or 40% of my time up here during the day taking care of the hermitage, and the other 60% of the time trying to come up with content and get donations. And it's a real struggle. It's a real battle. And I don't want to lose that battle. And I can't lose that battle. And so the focus now really is on just making this place solid, making this place a thing. I mean, our mortgage, guys, is $4,700, man. I mean, I'd love to see some well-off upper middle-class Buddhist come up in one of my shows and say, hey, I'm going to pay that mortgage off for you. And then you'll see a whole different environment up here at the Dharma Wheel Hermitage at that point, right? Without that mortgage hanging over my head, right? So, I mean, literally, like, this is the cheapest date in the world. We're going to get it done one way or another. If I have to do it with pennies out of the begging bowl, that's how I'm going to do it. If I get a sponsor from, maybe the content might draw somebody in that's got it like that. However, but for now, the content must continue. I mean, it is the only thing that I can think of that can support this place. I thought my books might support it, but apparently that's not going to happen. I think I've sold, like, to date, maybe like 35 copies of my book. I'm not even joking. So, and it's not because it's a shitty book. I mean, it's actually a pretty cool book, but it just, I mean, things are slow. Things are building. I mean, we're building an audience. My subscriber count goes steadily up, not down. So, no. The remaining mortgage note on this place is $4,700 USD. That's the remaining mortgage. It started at just shy of 5,000 USD. And the mortgage payment is $65 a month, and that includes the mortgage, the property owners association fee, and the taxes. All of the property taxes are all included in that $65 a month. And so we brought it down by paying, we paid a few payments ahead to try to get a little bit ahead, but we paid, so the payments we paid since we had it in 8 months, we brought the note down from 5,000 to 4,700. And it goes down every month. Every time we make a mortgage payment, it goes down. But the whole place, the whole entire 2 acres, filled with gorgeous junipers, in the middle of nowhere, like literally a piece of paradise, 2 acres, $5,000 is what we paid. That's the entire note. So when we pay the $4,700 off, the property is owned by us, by the Sangha. I mean, it's owned by me now, but there's a note on it, right? Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Tell me about it. In California, with property values as high as they are, although they're starting to inch down finally, but oh yeah, it's an amazing property, and it's within. I can even walk to the city. Like I'm gonna today if I have to, because I got some stuff in the Amazon locker. So I might actually have to walk to Alturas, and it's like 5 miles or so. I don't know, something like that. I'll get there. Most likely you don't. It's so country up here that if you start walking in and you're dressed kind of decent and everything like that, almost for sure somebody's stopping to give you a ride down in. I mean, almost for sure. There's not much traffic up here, but the ones that do go by are locals, and they'll, if you're not like completely looking completely raggedy, they'll almost for sure going to stop and pick you up. So it's off grid in the sense that there's no bars up here. I mean, all we got is Starlink internet, and then also Starlink T-Mobile. So my phone works. It just only with text messages off the satellite. Like if I turn the internet off, my phone will I can still send a text message to the world, but only text. But it also goes through what T-Mobile Starlink, because T-Mobile has direct cell to sky connections. They're supposed to open up data and voice like in the next year or so, but I'm pretty happy with the service, even just to have text. Oh, people are fine. They're country. I mean, they're not necessarily friendly all the time. They're country. When we first came in the area, we made kind of a fuss getting up in here and finding our properties and everything, and we weren't necessarily well received. I wouldn't say we were like received with hugs and welcome baskets like in a urban neighborhood. Definitely not, right? I mean, I think one guy threatened to shoot me, right? So I mean, it is what it is. It's country, right? But once they get to know you, sure, they're good country folk, and they're real friendly. But there's a lot of problems up here. Like one of the things is the property is really cheap, so there's a lot of squatting, because a lot of this property is cheap for a reason. It's way out in the middle of nowhere. It's not necessarily prime property for, say, to build a house or something like that, right? So as a consequence, a lot of people come up here and squat and grow weed and do all kind of nefarious things, poach firewood, and so there's a lot of that up here. Oh, there's lots of guns. Oh yeah, that's the one thing you got to get used to. There's lots of guns up here. I mean, every time I meet a guy out on the street here, and it's pretty rare that I meet one of my neighbors out on the street, but they're almost always packing right there on their hip in this area. But that's also a matter of survival. I mean, you're talking about a place where there's black bears, wolves, coyotes. You really just don't know squatters, criminals. I mean, you really don't know what you're going to encounter. So, I mean, I guess I don't pack heat, obviously, being a Buddhist minister, but I mean, I can definitely understand the concept of doing that. up here. But yeah, lots of guns. It's the Wild West. I mean, basically you're dealing with the real true Wild West out here. I mean, this was as far west as you could go, right? So the people that survived, that immigrated here from the East Coast in America and settled this land, 150, 200 years ago, when they came out here in covered wagons, I mean, you had to be quite something to survive this far. I mean, a lot of them just stopped in Ohio, right, and just settled there, right? I mean, but as far as like that goes, right? But the ones who made it all the way to the West Coast, they survived the Rocky Mountains, they survived the Indians, they survived, thousands of miles of hostile territory with critters they'd never even heard of, and they make it to California. Those are the crazy ones, man, right? I mean, those are the ones that literally are like, I mean, you got to be nutso to survive that, right? So California was literally founded by nutcases kind of like us, who came from the East Coast and came out here and decided to settle the hard way. In a way, we're kind of in a long tradition of, and it's still got that flavor to it. Like, it's still got the Wild West flavor. I mean, we walk in town and we see a lot of men wearing cowboy hats, right? I mean, it's not that unusual. And cowboy boots, and just, I mean, we're surrounded by farms. Bruno was born on a horse farm just down the road. Yeah, just it's been interesting, and it's really cool. I think all my family agrees that we like it here and we like the community. But but the friendly part is, yes, the friendly part is once you get in and you're part of it, then it's really friendly. It's really nice. People go out of their way to help you. But breaking through that, don't think for a second that they're going to just throw their arms open when you come driving into town and go, "Oh, welcome, come set up shop." That's not the way it is. I mean, it was a fairly steep learning curve involved, and a fairly steep kind of barrier to getting in good with people. I mean, we didn't start out well, right? We drove around this place all night in the middle of the night, waking everybody up trying to find our properties. So we actually started out pretty poorly as neighbors. Yeah, right, Kaya. My sis came all the way across in an RV, pulling her car behind it. I mean, if you can even flip and imagine, right? I mean, that's like wild, right? That's literally like the classic journey, right, across the country to go homestead in California. I mean, it's like literally that's the same journey that's been made by East Coasters for the last 200 years, right? And the ones who make it out here are just completely nuts, which of course we all are, all three of us. We're just crazy as loons, right? So, I mean, that's why California is so crazy to begin with. People go, "What made California so weird? What made it so crazy?" Well, just think about how it got settled. I mean, yeah, the Mexicans were here first, actually. California was part of Mexico originally, but I mean, there was a few of them, and they were probably not crazy, right? But the Anglos who came from the East Coast, yeah, I mean, like I said, if they survived all this way here, they were absolute lunatics, man. And then you had the gold rush, right? So for a while here in California, there's just like boulders of gold laying all over the ground. And that's the way it was, literally. And so you've got like people just literally like dragging burlap sacks of gold around and shooting each other over them in the middle of the bush, you know what I mean? And there's no law, right, to speak of. I mean, it was crazy. California's crazy because of the way it became California. And I feel like a part of the tradition of that, having come out here, and especially my sis having come all the way across, recently in the way she did, I think it feels like that. It feels like the modern version of us settling the Wild West, and it still feels sort of wildy and westy, maybe in a very tamed down way. But I mean, they're not shooting each other in the streets over bags of gold anymore, but at least not often. Somebody did get busted in town though, and when I say town, I'm talking like maybe a population of 10,000 people, probably closer to 5. But a guy got busted with a pound of meth. And the chief of police actually said, in the Bay Area that's not much, but around here that's a lot of stoned people. Right? So, and that just happened like a week ago. They caught a guy with a pound of meth driving through town, or in an apartment somewhere actually. Hey, why are we doing that? Why are we doing this? No, there's nobody here. It's just the wind. Well, 2-hour stream. Still no viewers. Oh my goodness. What do we got to do to get viewers, guys? I guess just come back tomorrow. Keep trying, right? Try every morning. At least I got my crew. That would be when I would feel alone, Colm. If I did a live stream and literally nobody showed up, I have to say at that point I would feel kind of lonely. Yeah, that wouldn't work out for me, I don't think. That would be a bummer. At least my crew. Hey, say hi in the chat, everybody. If you're working, say hi. See if Dr. Rob finally came live. He usually does one around this time of day. I don't understand. Where are you, Dr. Rob? If you're listening to my stream, you should go live. Nope. No Dr. Rob. Hi, Oleg from Ukraine. Thank you for having a listen to my show. So you're in Ireland and not in Ukraine, and I think that's very auspicious because my understanding is life in Ukraine is rather difficult right now. I pray and hope the best for your family in that country. I pray for peace. We're going to be doing a Sunday service maybe 2 weeks from now where we're going to do it on world peace. And we're going to pray for world peace, and we're going to hang a special set of prayer flags for world peace. And Ukraine and Iran and a lot of other places will be specifically in our prayers. Hello, Oleg. Hello to Oleg. Likely my first Ukrainian audience member. Big smile from Oleg. Yeah, a couple of weeks, Oleg. If you have a phone or if you can stick around, Colm can hook you up. But in a couple of weeks on our Sunday service, we're going to do world peace prayer. We're going to specifically include Ukraine and other places where there's war going on right now. And then we have a prayer flag tree up here at the Hermitage that we're very proud of. It's 10 feet tall and 40 feet across. A big prayer flag tree. And we got a nice big set of prayer flags that we're gonna pray over them on our Sunday service, and then we're gonna hang them live, like on the air on the tree. And that's probably gonna be a couple of Sundays from now. So follow the channel, Oleg. If you got a phone of your own or whatever, Colm will hook you up. And please keep coming back. We love all people, all religions, all faiths. Yes, we are Buddhist, unashamedly so. But we love everybody, all people here. And doggies. Doggies are super welcome. Well, that's always the case. But, I mean, I think about a lot of those things a lot, and I'm kind of a conservative when it comes to things, actually, in my leanings, right? I don't talk about it a lot because most Western Buddhists here in America are not conservative at all. They're very, very liberal. But I don't talk about it a lot. But, I mean, I do think, though, that some things just aren't worth worrying about, and a Ukrainian man living in Ireland sounds like a benefit to Ireland, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I think where immigration becomes problematic is when the people that are coming in are of absolutely no benefit whatsoever to the country that they land in, and instead become destructive of that social fabric through crime and stuff like that. And I think that is a problem. And as a conservative person, I'm concerned about that. But I would if Oleg, if you can make it here to the United States, you are welcome on the Hermitage anytime. Bring a tent though, because there's no meditation huts up here. If you want to practice and meditate, you're going to do it in your tent on the mountainside. But the view is to die for, and you almost certainly won't be bothered while you're practicing. So come anytime, Oleg. Come visit us here at the Hermitage. A problem with the cat here, Oleg is too nice, and now the other tenants don't like the stray cat. Well, that's my problem too. I can't stop taking dogs in. I have to like completely avoid dog pounds, like shelters. I just have to like go the long way around them. I just can't even look at them. I'll go in and I'll guarantee I'm bringing somebody home. I've had to limit myself to only rescuing animals that actually cross my path and need it. Because otherwise I'd have nothing but dogs up here. I had a guy ask me the other day on the stream, he goes, "Are you a dog sanctuary?" And I was like, well, it didn't start out that way. But I can't stop rescuing them, so I can't help myself. Well, we're going to pray for Ukraine and for you, Oleg, anyway. And it doesn't matter, like I said, it doesn't matter what faith you follow or none at all. Our approach is that what matters most here is the benefit of all sentient beings. And that's all we care about is compassion and love for everything that's alive. That's really kind of the focus of me, my spirituality, my Buddhism. And I think I can speak for kind of all my audience. They're kind of all that way. So you're always welcome with us, either virtually or if you ever make it to America, come on and visit us. Oh well, Oleg should know that I converted from Catholicism, so I am very familiar with the concept, and I was a very devout Catholic, and near the end I actually converted from Catholicism first to Orthodoxy, and then went from there to Buddhism. And the funny thing is, I talk a lot about my journey. People often ask me, especially if they're Christian, they'll ask me kind of with disappointment. They'll be like, "What made you leave?" And I tell people it wasn't like that. It's not that I stopped believing in Catholicism or Orthodox Christianity. I didn't, not at all. I simply started getting better answers for some of my important questions from Buddhism, and that's all it was. I mean, to this day, I still. I actually do the sign of the cross when I pass the church and stuff like that to this day, and don't find that hypocritical at all. Like I said, I did not lose faith in Christianity. I just started getting better answers for some of my critical questions from Buddhism, and that's a personal choice. And I still love. I have many Catholics in my life. I still love Catholicism. I would still go to a church with a friend and be in awe of the Catholic Mass. I mean, I'm with Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley said it best in one of his books. He goes, "How can you not respect, Orthodox Christianity and Catholicism? How can you not respect that? They take a piece of bread, turn it into God, and eat it." He goes, "If that isn't powerful magic, I don't know what is, right? If that isn't something incredibly spiritually powerful, then you just don't know. You don't know what's spiritual." And even Aleister Crowley was incredibly impressed with Christianity, and I mean that's just one example of how powerful that faith is. And I think I do believe in general, though, in religion. I have to say I take the opposite approach of the sort of modern secular ideas of where we should maybe be weaning ourselves off that. I don't have any problem with religion, and I don't have any problem with people who are devout in their religion. I think in this day and age of secularism, being a devout religious person is an act of revolution. It really is. I mean, one of the most revolutionary things you could do in this day and age as a Catholic or a Christian is to go to Mass every day. Right? Like the old, nowadays only the old ladies do that, right? But one of the be devout. Being devout would be one of the most revolutionary things you can do in this day and age. Oleg ate all your food like a locust. Well, Oleg was clearly hungry, dude. I'm sorry about that. But Oleg was clear. Oleg, I'm still on your side, bro. I'm still Team Oleg. I'm glad you ate, bro. Coleman's a very smart and very innovative man. He will go out and find a way to get more food. I'm glad you ate, my bro. If I had it, if you were here right now, we would feed you. We got food. We would cook something up just for you, Oleg. What a great crew. I got a great crew. We don't got thousands of viewers yet, but we got a great crew, so I really appreciate you guys. I'm completely out of like content though. I was hoping that Dr. Rob would stream so we could like tune in on him and see what kind of crazy stuff he's up to this morning. I want to double check and make sure he's not. Nope. His last stream was like 3 hours ago, and he said, "I'm officially retiring from being a spiritual teacher." I mean, I suppose we could watch some of that and see what he's talking about. Hey! Hey! No, it's on the phone. It's on the phone. It's Dr. Rob. It's Dr. Rob. No, stop. Hey, it's Dr. Rob. Hush. That's his last stream about 3 hours ago. I like his outfit. I like his outfit. That's a pretty snappy outfit. I gotta get something like that. Hey sis, man. There's a birthday present potential there. Look at that outfit he's wearing. I like that. That's jazzy. He's got matching pants too. You gonna say something, Doc Rob? The title of the stream is "I'm retiring from being a spiritual teacher." But you know those titles are always fake. He's just trying to get clicks. I'm gonna spin it ahead a little bit, see if he does something interesting. Wow, that's a lot of background noise there, Mr. Rob. What are they doing? That's my friend Doc Rob, guys. Follow him on YouTube. Monk Life Meditation, I think. Not very talkative in this stream. Somebody should go bug Doc Rob. Tell him to go live. I'd call him if I knew he was awake, but I just don't know what he's doing. Unless he's streaming. If I saw him streaming, I would try to get him on our show, on this show.
Can see what you're doing? I can't. I'm subhuman, so I don't want to show myself. Okay. You have another question?
Did he just say he was subhuman and he didn't want to show himself? That's weird.
So if we can't stop thinking, then our thoughts control us all the time, always. Welcome up, Enzo. Nice username.
See, our morning is his nighttime there, so I think...
Hi, Cookie. What's your question?
What do you think about Christianity?
What do I think about it? Maybe be a little... Maybe can you introduce yourself and some of your background with Christianity?
Yeah, my name's Cookie. I'm Coptic Orthodox, which is like Oriental Orthodox.
And I've been like a Christian my whole life, and I've been baptized, and yeah, that's about it. Well, there's a little bit of a difference between Coptic Orthodox and like American Christianity. So you wouldn't want to put these two in the same thing, and the value that you're going to get by being Coptic Orthodox is checking out some of those books that were written by saints and by monks. You know, if you think about it this way, though, if you really believe in God, there's a curiosity that goes along with that, according to the depth of your belief. And so prayer is how you spend time with God. Prayer is how you meet God, right? Prayer is how you come into, let's say, union with God. And if you don't take prayer seriously, your belief is always just going to be something that confuses you rather than something that empowers you. And it's the same with meditation. That's why I act so crazy a lot of the times, because I don't meditate enough. I don't do enough formal meditation. Yeah. That's nice of you.
Wow, Dr. Rob being super normal. So that was Dr. Rob's last stream.
Go ahead, Milo. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we got out of there just in time. I could tell from that where that was going. He just brought a troll on. Well, we got the good part anyway. Come on, Dr. Rob. You got a live stream, baby. I want to poach some of your content. Oh my goodness. So man, the walk for peace monks are just absolutely everywhere, man. They've been in Sri Lanka. They've been at the United Nations. They just brought relics to the Texas Capitol. And Alok is with Panakara everywhere he goes. Apparently he's not retiring to the monastery anytime soon because he travels with him everywhere. Take a look at this.
합당한 채로 예 귀하겠습니다. 라고 대답하시길 바라겠습니다. 예 귀하겠습니다.
인사하네요. 가비 스님 환영합니다. 가비 스님
That's Gabby the monk. You like that, Olek? We have a. I want to know what Olek thinks about the robot monk. Huh? What do you think about that, Olek? Some Korean monks recently ordained a robot as a Buddhist monk. What are your opinions of that? No opinion? Is Olek still busy eating all your food, Colm? Well, I guess I'm going to have to start queuing up multiple break songs, man, because this stream goes long and I need more breaks. Could use the browser, though. If you're working, say hi in the chat. If you're watching on the replay, you must be really hardcore for content. But thank you. Leave a like and subscribe. Special hello to Oleg from Ukraine, my first Ukrainian viewer. You got to make Oleg a permanent viewer. Grab his phone while he's eating. Make sure he follows the channel. See, any of those songs I play is going to get me a copyright strike. Well, let's watch some of the Chainsaw Hermit show. This is my other show, guys, called The Chainsaw Hermit, where I do different videos about the homesteading experience up here. So we'll take a look at this. And I'm going to take a little break, guys, while you guys watch this video. How long is it? Oh, it's 45 minutes. Don't I have anything shorter? Oh, man. Well, that's alright. We don't have to play the whole thing. So I'm going to mute up the mic and take a little stretch here on the break. This is going to be an old episode of the Chainsaw Hermit show. It's one of my shows, but it'll give you an idea what it looks. If you're new to the stream, it'll give you an idea of what it looks like around the Hermitage and stuff. And you can always check out more episodes on my YouTube channel. And the Chainsaw Hermit show is mostly about homesteading. So if you're into off-grid homesteading, you might particularly find them interesting. We'll watch a little bit of it while I stretch and take a break. I promise tomorrow to have more break material already. I didn't realize how long this stream might go. And so yeah, all right. Matt, we're going to introduce him and his company, and do an unboxing from Matt today, from landunlimited.com. So yeah, so let's turn the camera around real quick. Here we are. We're in sort of down at the front of the property, and this is, as it is, such as it is, the street. This is Raccoon Lane. All the streets in the MRE. This is called the MRE. Stands for Modoc Recreational Estates, and this is the division that we live in. And this is, believe it or not, our street. And it's completely impassable now unless you have four-wheel drive. And if you do have four-wheel drive, you're going to wreck my road. People have already done that. You can see where it's pretty grooved up. There's our new puppy from the Hermitage, Bruno. He is our Christmas miracle, our Christmas rescue. And here he is at the Hermitage. Bruno, you got to come back over here. Okay. We retrieved Bruno from out of the street. He's still learning the ropes. He's only 10 weeks old. He's going to be a gentle giant, though. He's already almost 35 pounds at like not even 11 weeks yet. So he's going to be a bruiser, over 150 pounds when he's fully grown. So we're here at the front of the property here in, like I said, as it is the street. So I think what we'll do is we'll begin by just recapping what we did when we first got here. Because that's sort of part of the unboxing. We wanted to do videos when we did arrive, but things were really hectic. So when we arrived, we landed right here in this pathway that has evolved now up to the main camp. It goes up the hillside there to the main camp. And so we arrived, that path became quite organically like the instant place that we ingressed onto the property. We pulled up in an RV pulling a trailer, pulling a car, which was my trailer. It contained the entire kit for the Hermitage in my sister's car. And the RV and the car parked there across the street, again, quote unquote. And I unloaded everything that was the original homestead kit for this project, and I put them there underneath that tree. It was the easiest, quickest place. We actually slept there the first night on a mattress out in the open air, and it was gorgeous. It was amazing, and that was October 5th. And when we arrived, we first let Xander and the boy and Xavier out of the RV. And Xander immediately came over here to this gorgeous, perfect juniper and took a whiz and ordained the property for us, sort of christened the property. But both of you guys got to get back over here. So these guys are definitely very much ready for spring. And keeping them on the property, it might be a challenge come spring. Fencing is actually a high priority for the property. Anyway, to continue, we egressed from the car. The first thing we did is sort of split up. My friend who traveled out from Maine in the RV, he's an old school mate and chum from back when we were kids, came out with my sister. And the first thing is he went ahead and walked the property and found the pins. When you purchase property, the pins are the key. It's the first thing you want to do when you get here. And I'll show you one. It's a steel pin. It's been hammered quite far into the ground, and it's quite immovable. There's a second pin, usually as a verification pin. There'll be a shorter second pin, oftentimes, if it's been done right. And the white on the top is appropriate for a property pin. And that shows me one corner of the Dharma Wheel Hermitage. And so the first thing we did is locate the pins. And there were, actually we have 5 of them, and we'll show you the 5th one. The 4 for the corners of the rectangle, the 2-acre rectangle. And then down here we have a middle one, and we'll show you it by walking down the frontage a little bit. Let's go around the tree this way. Try to keep the boys on the property. And so this is our frontage along Raccoon Lane. And then our middle pin is here, our 5th pin. Most properties wouldn't have a 5th pin. Ours is not shaped perfect. Our roadway, our frontage along the road is at an angle. And this pin here marks the place where that angle breaks. And because there was a pin here, and it's maybe kind of buried, it's in there. It's in those rocks, actually. And what we did with it is we decided to put our signage there on top of the pin to sort of mark that instead of a stake. And that's our little Vistaprint lawn sign we bought just so we could christen the property with some sort of appropriate signage. And then that's it. And then so when we first got here, my friend jumped out and identified the pins. What I did, because I was very familiar with the pictures that Matt had sent me of the property, especially the frontage, is I started in my mind and also on my phone comparing pictures that he had sent us, because we bought this sight unseen. So, and comparing pictures with with what I had on my phone and in my memory of the frontage. And within 15 minutes, we confirmed, and of course we had longitude and latitude, we had GPS. So we knew we were almost certainly in front of the property. So we had those three things, and once we completely identified the property, we unloaded everything right there. And that was kind of the end of day number one. We had an incredible moonrise that night. There's pictures of it online and whatnot. And then the second day, we spent mostly moving all of that stuff because it was a huge pile of stuff. It was the entire base camp that you're going to see when we go up top. And we had to move it up top where we found the spot that we wanted to put it. And so that was quite a chore. I did it mostly myself and had to move it up there. On the third day, what we did was we staked the property. And that's a chore in and of itself, but it's one that it's absolutely necessary. And so we'll go back here to the corner real quick, and I'll just show you. You guys got to get out back over here. All right. Once again, retreat the puppies onto the property. So this is a very sort of classic sort of property stake. You can see this is literally the first one we pounded in because obviously this pin was very easy to locate and know that it was our corner. These bands, these color bands have meaning. Orange is simply a property line. Red, if this were red, it would designate property line, no trespassing. And then the middle one is a new, relatively new color addition to the color scheme of staking, and it's purple, and it means no hunting. And so that's our official stake all the way around. And then so day number 3 was spent, and that would have been October 8th, was spent staking the property. Now this one we didn't have to stake except the corners because we have a fence that's pretty accurate from our neighbor that's next to us. And then, so we staked our 4 corners. And we didn't have to stake the middle here because we have the sign. And then we staked in the middle on the back and in the middle on the side. So we had more of a good idea of the rectangle. And the staking just basically goes, you use the color and some binoculars and line of sight. It's not really like surveying accurate, but it's accurate within even like a foot. I'm pretty anal about it, and I got it pretty good. And you just set a pair of binoculars on one stake like that, and then you can sight down the property line. And you use the colors to be able to see. And you can also, if it gets tricky, like if you're in a bush or something like that, if your stake that you're trying to see, you can add flags. So a couple of times I had to take a tent pole and put it up next to a stake, and then put a red bandana like up on top to sort of sight the stake. And so, yeah, and that was the third day that we were here. And by then, we were beginning to unbox the base camp, and we'll go up there now and take a look. And so as we walk up the trail, and you can see it much more defined now. And like I said, that kind of just developed organically. But we're going to gravel it in. We're going to frame it in with stones and then gravel it so that people can walk a lot more easier up here to the base camp. Our 2 main structures is this one here, which is our main cabin. That's where me and the boys rest and eat, and there's a little office in there where I do the business of running the Hermitage. And that one there is our storage shed, and there's also a work table in there, so I can store all the gear and keep it dry and nice, and also, do different chores on the table. There's our main prayer flag tree up there on the hill. It's a 40-foot diameter tree. When it's done, it'll have 40 feet circle. Be the largest, probably the largest structure on the Hermitage property, at least right now, certainly. And our very proud flying the Karmapa flag here. We put that up. I think on day number 4 we put some of this stuff up. And then we began, on day number 4, we began assembling all of this. The last thing was the picnic table. We had it delivered from Ace, and I put it together myself. And later in the spring, when it warms up a little bit and we can cure the table up a bit, I have a can of maroon paint. We're going to paint it maroon. But for right now, in the winter. And you can see we still have plenty of snow from the snowstorm that we took up here. It's really taken quite a while to melt because we've had sunny days like this now for at least a week here at the Hermitage. And so, yeah, it's taking its time. The base camp is very well endowed. We have everything. We have renewable energy for electricity. We have both solar, and we're going to take a look at that as we walk out back. And we have the wind turbine, which you can see sitting there proudly over the back of the cabin. There's our main shelter cabin, and it's done quite nicely. I'm not going to say it's pleasant to be in a tent during a blizzard, but it's doable, and we did it. We survived. Again, here's the storage shed further up on the hill. We'll take a walk out back here, and you can see we've got about 350 watts of solar panels out here on the hillside, doing their job to harvest the sunshine every minute, basically, of any sunny day. I put these panels out, and I track the sun so I can get the best possible output from the panels, and we collect up as much electricity as we can, and that way we can do things like keep the internet on. We have the Starlink unit out back here. Very, very good and reliable internet. We're very, very happy with it. We get incredible bandwidth. We live stream from up here and can provide all sorts of content and connectivity. And so that's that unit. And there's the panels. Here's another look up the hill at the, again, the main prayer flag tree. And then the view from the tree, we're going to put a meditation platform up there because the view from the tree is that. So it's really arguably one of the best views of the property. And so this is the main base camp, and this is what we were able to do. This is a combination, though. We obviously didn't bring things with us like the wind turbine, and not quite all of this power, and a lot of simple things that we really did need, like garbage cans and whatnot, did not come with the main kit. Thanks to a very generous donation from Lama Choga at the Insight Sangha, though, both cash and some Ace Hardware cards, gift cards, we were able to do the sort of a final tooling and get the power we needed, get the turbine, and get simple stuff like heaters and garbage cans and stuff that really didn't make the cut to come up here in. Alrighty then. Little tour of the Hermitage. Maybe, I don't know if Colm has seen that video. He might have. But that's a little tour of the Hermitage. And tomorrow we'll be outdoors, guys. We won't be inside the tent. It was just really chilly this morning, but the weather's calling for much warmer temperatures this week. So we'll be doing these shows in the morning. And we'll be back again tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. Pacific time, and that will be every weekday, Monday through Thursday. And so yeah, come tune in, hang out, drink some coffee. I'm not even like a third of the way through my Yeti, guys. Coffee with the Dharma bum. And then don't forget the Sunday service. That's our other new content. Every Sunday, 10 a.m., we're going to do a service up here. The service is going to be a real service, guys. So, you know me, I don't like restrictions. I hate being unnecessarily restrictive. So, most services, to be honest with you, almost all the services that I go to on Sunday, online, Buddhist services, they have the chat turned completely off. Now, I understand that. And I'm prepared at some point to do that if I have to, but I find it just a little bit cold in the sense that, you know, you're like a congregation if you're coming to my service, so it would be nice if you could say hello to each other and greet each other and maybe have some chit-chat afterwards. Like one of the things I've thought through is when the service is over, I'll turn the audio off, but I'll let the stream keep running for a little bit so you can all sort of say hi to each other and So maybe I can even greet you guys. And don't forget, we have a Discord server, so join the Discord. The link is in the description of this video. So yeah, Sunday service, guys. We had to cancel. The first one was supposed to be yesterday. Colm, I thought you'd be so excited. I actually mentioned you in the Saturday show when I was first announcing the Sunday service, because I'm going to teach, Colm. In fact, this Sunday will be my first ever, in my life, official public teaching. As part of the service, I will read from Scripture, and then I will give a teaching on that reading. And it will be short, brief, as orthodox and correct as I can possibly make it. And I'm going to do my best, but I thought you'd get a kick out of that, Colm. I'm finally, hopefully you'll tune in on Sunday so you can support me on my first ever public teaching. The service itself, I've got most of the skeleton of it fleshed out. It'll probably start at about 30 minutes each service. It might grow to as long as 45 minutes eventually as I add maybe some other stuff. But essentially it's going to be, probably pretty light on the ritual, some bells and stuff like that at the beginning. Then we're going to say some prayers, and we're going to have a standardized prayer book that we work from for that. And it's going to be the yellow prayer book at the Garshen Institute. I'm going to link to it in the description of the service so everybody can download it. But if you go to, I think it's garshen.net is their website, you can get a jump on it and get the yellow prayer book. Go over to his website and fish around in the menus. You'll find their free downloads. Get a free copy of the PDF of the yellow prayer book, and that's the one we're going to be using as pretty much a standard for the Sunday services. So all the prayers will be in there. And then we're going to have, like I said, a scripture reading, a teaching, and then a very brief 5-minute meditation. We'll end the service with 5 minutes of meditation on the breath or any other object you choose. And that's it, pretty much. And it'll be, the idea is to give people a place to do that Sunday service thing. I have my own Sunday service that I love to go to. I've been going to it every Sunday, online, naturally. But I wanted to do one of my own up here, so that kind of boxed me into having to teach, Mr. Colm. So there you go. I'm going to teach. Just for the Sunday one. I actually had a guy, when I made the announcement, I had one of the newcomers, one of the new followers, ask me if I would personally teach him. And I kind of hemmed and hawed about it. I was like, I don't know. We'll have to see. Just hang out. We'll talk about it. But I don't know that I'm going to go all in that direction yet at all. But I do want to do a Sunday service, and a proper Sunday service deserves a teaching. It should have a teaching. And so we're going to give one. And I'm just going to try to keep it, to stuff that I'm really firm about. Stuff I definitely know about. Because I'm not this great, mighty guru. I'm not this big, enlightened teacher. I'm just me. I'm just a hermit on a mountain trying to do the best I can. So I will definitely keep it to super simple scripture, and scripture that I'm on really good footing with, and that I can explain well. So I won't be like going far flung afield or anything like that. I would eventually like to work my way into talking about lucid dreaming in connection with the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And so that'll be probably about as far out as I'll go, but that'll be sometime down the road, maybe this summer, when I'll do a series of services on the Tibetan Book of the Dead and lucid dreaming. And actually my first sermon, my first teaching will be on the Tibetan Book of the Dead. That will be the reading, but that's because we're having we're having death rites up here at the Hermitage when we're going through that process. So it will be the reading. I can give you a spoiler. The scripture reading will be from Robert Thurman's translation of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is, in my opinion, the best translation. and Dr. Thurman did a really good job. So we'll be reading from that, and then I'll give a teaching sort of based off of that reading. And we're talking like 10, 15 minutes, guys. Not like, I'm not going to drone on forever. It's going to be... So, I mean, it is momentous, I guess, in the fact that it'll be my first public teaching, but it's also not going to be this, you know, I'm not going to drone on for hours like some of the high lamas do on the internet. I'm going to get in there, you know, read the scripture, knock out the teaching, and then let you guys get on with your Sunday. Like I said, the service will probably at first last about around 30 minutes, and then as I add elements to the service, as I grow it, at the most it'll probably end up at around 45 minutes per week. So if you want to come and spend your Sunday, part of your Sunday, spiritual time with us, and you know, I get a lot of people wonder about Sunday services, you know what I mean, in general. They're like, well, you know, Buddhists don't actually, you know, they don't do the Sunday thing like we do here in the West, where, you know, all the Christians go to church on Sunday, right? But the thing is, that is a Western thing. And so I really dig the Buddhist institutions like Garshan Institute that will put out a Sunday service and call it a Sunday service, and give people a chance, so that way we Buddhists don't feel left out, right? I mean, it's kind of, you know, on Sunday, right? If all your friends are Christians and they all go to church, you know, don't you feel kind of a little bit left out? So, you know, if you can go to Sunday services in person, that's obviously the ideal. But, you know, there's so few Buddhist institutions that we don't have, a lot of us don't have one right nearby us. So the online ones are really good. Up until I began this service, I spent every Sunday morning on the live stream, the live Sunday service from the Garshan Institute. That was my go-to. And a lot of what I saw there over the months and probably a year or two that I've been doing that every Sunday, I will probably model a lot of my service on what I saw them doing at the Garshan Institute in the monastery there for their Sunday service. So it'll be kind of similar. But it's the idea just to, you know, do something on Sunday along with everybody else in the West, right? Is doing something on Sunday. So, so we do too. Richard Gere narrating the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I get that's what you're talking about. Yeah, you know, Richard Gere's a funny guy. You know, he really is. I go on and off about him. You know, there's times when I just really don't like him, and I don't like the influence he's had on Western Tibetan Buddhism, and there's other times when, you know, and then there's times when I just wish he'd come and watch my stream and drop me a check. You know what I mean? Because we could really use the help from a guy like Richard Gere. He could pay for everything and wouldn't even be the amount that he pays for food in a week, right? I mean, he could pay off our mortgage, give us all the build-out money, and I mean, that would be like a total of 10 grand to him. That would be nothing. So I guess on one level, I'd love him to show, if you're Richard Gere and you're working in my stream, for goodness sakes, pipe up, dude. Pipe up, dude. Somebody drop the link. Drop the donation link. You know, I don't know. I mean, you know, I guess a lot of people would say, well, he's done so much for Buddhism, but I just think that a lot of what he's done has not been necessarily positive. You know, he's given a lot of money to a lot of different parts of the Tibetan culture, and some of that has not always worked out well when it translated over to the West. So money doesn't cure everything, but it certainly has bought him a seat at the table. And I guess I've always had and I need to work on this. This is stuff I work on in my practice, but I've always had a bit of I'm always a bit dubious of privileged and wealthy people. Let's just put it that way. And I shouldn't be. I need to work on that. That's not right. But yeah, well, when you're living outdoors, it's free refrigeration, right? I mean, except in the summertime, and then it starts getting warm. But I actually I have a solution that we adopted up here, and this thing, guys, has been running since the day I bought it, even before I left the Bay Area to come up here. It's been running non-stop, but it's a refrigerated cooler is what it is. And it's basically a cooler with a refrigeration unit built into it. And it can go all the way down below freezing, so you can actually like pack it full of ice trays, for instance, with water in them, and put it down to like 30 degrees and like freeze all the ice cubes, make all the ice cubes. But it's a regular refrigerator slash freezer, and we use it as a refrigerator. It's very small. It's only like I think 22 or 24 liters. You know, you really got to pack it in, you know, but that fits, you know, a couple of dozen eggs, a gallon of milk, you know, 3 pounds of hamburger, you know, some hot dogs, you know, all kind of stuff, butter, all packed in there in that one chamber. And the thing is, it's very low cost on electricity. So like my power packs are 600 watts right now. I got 2 of them. And in the wintertime, I can run that for a week off in a power pack, that refrigerator. Or in the summertime, several days probably off in a full pack. So I can always keep it plugged in and on. It runs off a cigarette lighter socket, 12 volt. And so that refrigerator's been running non-stop since I bought it, and we drove all the way up here with it running. It runs day and night. I mean, maybe if I run out of food, occasionally I do run out of food up here, and I'll turn it off, obviously, if nothing's in it. But other than that, it's been running non-stop, and I'm very, very happy with it. It's got a Bluetooth app, so I can check my temperatures and adjust my temperature and everything by Bluetooth. It's really cool. I really am happy with it, and it's very affordable. It's called Set Power. If you're interested, you can go on Amazon and search SET Power, all one word, Set Power. The nearest stream is on the other side of the ridge, so if I were to walk there with the boys, it would take me maybe 20 minutes to get to the nearest stream, and there's literally water running everywhere. Not on our property, but all around us. There's lakes. Some of the most famous lakes in the world are here, like Clear Lake, and rivers and streams of all sorts of natures. But the nearest little creek is on the other side of the ridge, probably a 20-minute walk from here. It's just a muddy little creek, though. We have not yet made any offerings to the Hungry Ghosts. We can definitely do that, though. I mean, if you're putting in a request, I will certainly download the necessary, sort of guidelines to do that. And I'm perfectly happy to do anything you guys want up here. I'm a solitary practitioner, and I'm empowered by a teacher right now that I'm going to highlight soon, a female teacher who is very much into, the solitary way practitioner accessing all of the tantras. She's sort of a rebel. She's a Tibetan, but she's sort of a rebel about it. She doesn't believe that lineage holders and lamas should be gatekeepers to these rituals. So she does videos, instructional videos on how to do the rituals, and empowerment be damned, so to speak. And there's a lot of lamas that would speak against that. Oh, it's dangerous and this and that. But she doesn't believe it, and she's been really empowering me. So anything that you guys request, we'll put into the mix. Pujas, pawas, any of that. Dilgo Kansei actually does ayahuasca ceremonies down in Brazil, guy. And he's like just a pretty standard, online lama. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with him, Dilgo Kansei, guys. You can look him up online, but he's great. I mean, talk about being like brutally honest and off the cuff, and just being yourself as a teacher. I think Dilgo Kansei is sort of the template of that kind of, but I didn't know that he was that forward leaning, but apparently I've heard tell that he's done ayahuasca, Tibetan Buddhist ayahuasca rituals. I don't even know what something like that would look like, but yeah, right. He's just really crazy, right? He's so cool to listen to, though. And he's so brutally honest. Like, I remember one time he shows up at this empowerment, right? And he's all in his robes. He's got his lama robes on, right? And And he's like, okay, I got to do this empowerment, and you can see him. He's asking somebody, "Where's the implement?" There's a certain ritual object. I don't know what. I can't remember what it was that he was supposed to use to, at the end to empower all the people. He would touch them with this object, right? And the object was missing. Like they had everything else laid out for him to do this ritual, but the object is missing. So he grabbed an apple out of the offering bowl, and he just did the whole empowerment by tapping people on the head with this apple. He's like, it works if I say it works. That was what he said, and I love him. I love him to death. I do. There's a lot of people who have negative things to say about him. I suppose anybody who puts themselves out on Front Street, they're gonna have negative things to say about you at some point. But I like him. I like him. No, I'm talking about the young one, the guy he's still alive. Maybe I got his name wrong. Let me look him up. Hold on. Let's go back to the browser, guys. We'll go browse together. I'll show you who I'm talking about. I might have got his name wrong. I thought it was Kensei though. I thought it was the last one, but he's a younger guy. Hold on, let me find. Where can I find some of his? It's on the. Where are my subscriptions? Here we go. Could probably find it easier on my phone actually, and I won't be able to see the chat. Well, yeah, I think he is a Tulku. I think there is that, but hold on, let me come on, go. Here we go. Because I'm pretty sure I follow one of his channels. Or maybe not. Oh, what happened? See, usually his videos would just come up all the time in my feed, but now that I want one, I know if I go to my home feed, I won't even find him. Yeah, I can't find him. Let me see if I can search him. See, I might be saying his name wrong. I know who I'm thinking about, but no, that's not it. That's not him. That's the llama that like is in disgrace because he's like smoking cigarettes at the. Yeah, I do get his name wrong. I gotta find this guy's name, the one I'm thinking about. Well, that's too bad. Let me go to my home. So it's not Diogo Kensei. It's something else. This guy that I'm thinking about is. See, none of his videos are going to pop up now in my stream now that I'm looking for him. I get him all the time. And he's hysterical. He's so great, man. Yeah, see, it's just not going to come up for me. I'll find the dude. I'll find him somewhere around. I know who I'm talking about. I just don't got the name right. But I can see him in my head. Yeah, so that name goes to that kid. I've read about it. It's very controversial because he started out as a really great, sort of, he was a tulku. He was a discovered child, right? But then, I guess he really went south. Like, there was questions about money. Like, there's all these videos of him puffing cigarettes at, behind the monastery and stuff. And then there were some accusations, always the accusations about the sex stuff, which that annoys me to no end, that, like, that always is something that's going to come up, right? I mean, I thought I followed this guy, but I guess not. Might be easier to find it on my phone. Maybe not, though. It's funny. I almost always get a couple of his videos on every pull on the timeline, but today it's just not gonna. It's always the case, right? When you want something, you can't pull it up. But he's a middle-aged guy, right? I mean, guys must have seen this guy around. I mean, he's everywhere. He's huge. He's like a rock star. He goes all over the world doing these retreats and everything. And he's just kind of a traditional, like, monk and lama, but he's very, like, off the cuff, very, like, I don't know how to put it. Why can't I find this guy? That's wild. None of his videos are going to come up in my... I'm like scrolling as fast as I can. I can't even see one. And I always get some of them. Oh, there's my subscriptions. Let's see if I can see his little head in there. Well, I thought for sure I followed something about him, like his foundation or something. What a shame. I know what I'm talking about. I just can't. Oh, no, stop. But I can't find it. What a shame. But anyway, he does that. He's very famous, super famous. I'd have to rate him as like probably one of the top 3 most famous lamas in the world. Really. He's very handsome, middle-aged, incredibly funny when he gives the teachings. He's hysterical. But I can't for the life of me remember. Let me catch up on the chat. Anyway, Combs says the Celts had all sorts of stories about death and being reborn and changing forms. So yeah, that might Mech Squirrel. That might be it. Hold on, let me type that in. I bet that's it. Let me see if can I copy and paste that out of my chat? Yep, I can. Hold on, I think you're right, Mech Squirrel. Welcome, by the way. Great to see you this morning. Thanks for coming by. See if that will work here. I bet it's him. That sounds like it is. I had the Kensei part right. That's the guy. Oh, we got to put him up. Let's put something up. What does he got going on here? See if he's got something snappy and witty. Just retire in your early 40s. Well, that's a short though, but let's see it. Let's see it anyway. I love this guy because, I mean, he's so controversial.
I could have told you guys, when you are in your early 40s, just retire now. In your early 40s, I'm not even talking about 60s and 70s, early 40s, I should have told you, okay, get a grip, retire from your job. This is the biggest chunk of your life, sort of the fruit of your life. But I didn't have the courage to tell you to do that. Because, as I said, thinking is really difficult to practice. There's always this, what if market crashes, inflation comes, war breaks down, a pandemic arrives, and then my poor friend who has only a few savings, I have already told them to retire. Then what? The modern education look at you as an espresso machine. You are educated and assembled and programmed together to work, to be slave. And therefore you should slave till the last drop of your energy. And then of course, when you finally become so old and feeble, there's whole business of old age folk, old folk home. So that also has become a consumer good. I think these are important to sometimes discuss as a Buddhist sort of value of life. I could have told you guys when you are in your early 40s, just retire now. In your early 40s, I'm not even talking about 60s and 70s. Early 40s, I should have told you, okay, get a grip, retire from your job. This is the biggest chunk of your life, sort of the fruit of your life. But I didn't have the courage to tell you to. How can it be best practice in the modern world? This is a little bit of challenging for me. And this always frustrates me a little bit. Things have gone wrong from the beginning, I feel. I'm not talking here only. I'm talking right from, I think, mainly in Tibet. Concepts such as guru devotion, guru yoga, it should never have been publicly available. These are meant to be those who are looking for that particular thing. But it's too late. It's all there. It's in the Google, it's in the Wikipedia, it's in the Amazon, in the every bookshops that you can think of. It's all there. So it's really difficult. In Tibet, you can sort of say that because there's a few conditions. Actually, I've written this on my 19-page thing. Because everyone is sort of Buddhist, culturally Buddhist, and also remember before 40s or 50s, nobody was there. I mean, only Tibetans, not many people. I mean, outsiders, very, very few. Even as a tourist, very few. And somehow the Dharma ended up becoming part of the culture in everything, in paintings, I don't know, part of their day-to-day. It's a good thing. It has its good side, but also, as I said earlier, the Dharma gets hijacked. But anyway, it sort of worked in Tibet, sort of, I would say. But then something more worse happened in Tibet, I feel, when the lamas become a political leader. Things really went down the hill. And we will talk about this a little bit later. This has really damaged the Buddha Dharma a lot. But the most sad thing and the most frustrating thing that I feel is, how many of you in this room wants to be a Tibetologist? Maybe very few. Those who wants to finish, I don't know, some dissertations on Himalayas, maybe that's all. Many of you came for enlightenment, for Dharma, for the spiritual path. What went wrong is most of the lamas, including myself, we taught to the Western audience as we are teaching the Tibetan nomads 200 years ago. And this, I think, is a big, big mistake. You know how the Tantra was taught in India before, before Tibetans got it from India. They kept it very quiet. Because this is a very, it's not chewable by
Hey, Gom. Yeah, I just wanted to look at him a little bit. He's the one I was saying does the ayahuasca rituals. Thank you, Mex Squirrel, for giving me his name, by the way. Welcome. I hope you stuck around, Mex Squirrel. I hope you're still here. Nice to see you again. Haven't seen you in quite some time. Put my camera back on. Here I am. I'm Mex Squirrel. Welcome to the Hermitage. Tomorrow's morning show, guys, will be outdoors. Just so you know. I don't know what to say, Combe. Everybody has, sometimes people just disagree on stuff. I really like him. I think he was being very honest there. And he's one of the first Tibetan lamas that I've ever heard come out with some of the ideas that I have, which is, he did a very controversial video. It was actually private and it leaked, of him seriously criticizing the attempt to transplant the Tulku system into the West. And basically he says that should be winding down even in the East, really. It's time to end that practice. It's just not going to work the same in modern times as it did in ancient times. Now, I'm not sure if I agree with that or not, but it's a very controversial position. I do think there's a great deal of, I think that's fraught with difficulty. And I just think the whole guru system too, the worship of gurus, I think is something that probably shouldn't be translated to the West. I think Western people, I've always believed, are just way too, what's the word I want to use? Way too susceptible to the abuse that can gin up from guru worship. It's one thing to worship Garshan Rinpoche. Now, you take him as an example, and I keep using him as an example because he's really, I don't think he's the only white enlightened person in the United States, but he's the only public one that teaches that I know about. And so I use him a lot. But it'd be one thing to worship him like sort of from afar as your guru or the Dalai Lama or something like that. But this idea that you can just pop yourself on a YouTube channel, set up a YouTube channel, set up a donation page, and then you're going to be people's guru, right? To me, that is very fraud. And I don't know that this fellow that I like so much, I don't know that I've never heard him encourage people to like make him their guru. I mean, he teaches. I'm going to teach. I mean, that's, but he seems to, and when it comes to honesty, he just seems to have a great deal of it. He seems to be very deprecating of the same parts of Tibetan Buddhism that I question, and whether or not they're translatable to a Western audience. He's very open-minded. He seems to be fairly honest and humble. I've never heard any controversies about him. Maybe there are. I suppose there are. But I don't have a faith in him. I wouldn't say I have some sort of big faith in him. I like him. I like him a lot. I like to listen to him talk. I put him on a lot in the background. I wouldn't say I'm following him as any kind of I mean, he has a foundation that gives away grants though, so I might put in for a grant from him for the Hermitage. And I actually believe that, and I could be wrong in this, but I actually believe that if I could get to him, if I could write to him an email or a letter that he could actually read, because I'm sure he gets written to by millions of people, right? But if I could actually get a letter in his hands and show him maybe some pictures of this place and invite him here, I think there's a better than, there's a 50-50 chance he might actually come to a place like this. He'd come in his blue jeans and his little red polo shirt, and he'd put up his tent, and he'd probably have a grand time up here, I really think. I mean, he's somebody I can picture hanging around a campfire and really shooting the shit, so to speak, and really having, so I don't know, he'd be welcome here. No, Colm, I don't disagree with you or agree with you one way or another. I'm not trying to be disagreeable at all about it. I like him. I've yet to see something that makes me not like him. But I find his honesty, especially his self-deprecation, like I said, little things like, not getting upset that the ritual implement was missing, but just using an apple to empower everybody during a ritual. That's the kind of thing that I just really, I like him for it. I just do. Well, he's a celebrity. I get that. No, I get that. Believe me, I'm the first person to not really dig people of privilege and whatnot. But I'm not convinced, though, Colm, that unlike some lamas that me and you both know, okay, and there's some lamas we both know in common, and I won't name any names, but unlike some lamas I know, I'm not convinced that if we did get him here, that he wouldn't cut me a big old fat check before he left either. That's the thing, and that's another difference. I have more faith that him being a total stranger, if I could get him here, would support this place, really support it with the only way he can, because like you said, he probably does have access to a lot of money, right? But I actually think he'd put down. He'd love this place, and he'd put down, and that's a big difference between him and some of the other star lamas. And I get it, they're all stars, right? They're all superstars. I get what you're saying, but I guess out of all the superstar lamas online, he'd be one of the ones I would trust the most. Well, yes, but if you're going to teach, you've got to make the Dharma somewhat entertaining. If you're too dry and whatnot, I mean, Western people, that's, I mean, he's preaching to a younger Western audience, and I think he's probably doing it right in the sense that he's making himself somewhat interesting to that demographic. Well, I'm not disagreeing with you per se, because you may know things about him and have an experience with him that I don't have. So I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I dig him, and if I'm ever going to back those kind of superstar online lamas, it's going to be somebody like him. It's definitely not going to be somebody like the unnamed Lama that I'm talking about that we both know. Okay? To me, there's a world of difference. If you put that Lama that you know that I'm talking about, and you put him side by side with this guy, there's no comparison. It's night and day. I mean, as far as the honesty level, the accessibility level, the approachability level, the sincerity level, all of it, it's night and day. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know about relying on somebody like that as like a teacher or whatever. I don't consider him necessarily like my teacher or anything like that. But I enjoy him for what he is, and I enjoy the difference between him and some of the other ones. But I do think there are some decent Lama teachers out there too. Like obviously Garshan Rinpoche. But the problem with Garshan Rinpoche that a lot of people, you have to really want the teachings to get teachings from Garshan Rinpoche, because it all has to be translated. He does not speak, to my knowledge, a word of English. So, like when I took refuge with him, it was a 4-hour process because his teaching was probably only an hour, right? But it took 4 hours to have him talk and then have the translator translate. And of course, it wasn't a professional translator necessarily. It was just some member of the Sangha doing it and struggling with it. So, you know, I get that maybe more serious people should be turned to for teachings than this cat. But at the same time, there's a big accessibility issue because a lot of the really great teachers don't speak a lot of English, and so you have to get translations, and that's very tedious. You have to really want, like I have this one Zen fellow, Sunim, who's in Korea, and he's kind of famous Zen teacher, and I actually quote him in my book. And I watch a lot of his videos, but it's again very tedious, right? Because you have to either watch the captions, the closed captions, you know, to catch what he's saying. So there's that language barrier. What I like about this guy, he's got the English. He's approachable. So, but you know, everybody's got different likes, different dislikes. It's fine, Comb. Don't even sweat it, man. Don't even sweat it. Maybe I'll come across something that, you know, and I'll come back to you in 6 months and be like, yeah, I looked more into this guy, and you're right. You were right. The thing about me is I'm always willing to admit if I'm completely bonk on wrong. You know what I mean? I'll be the first one to go on the stream and say, hey, wow, you know, look at this crap. But and I think it's also very refreshing when you compare him to like people like, you know, real corrupt lamas like Sagi Rinpoche and all those guys. I mean, the Shambhala people. I mean, if you put it beside that, it's night and day, right? I mean, I don't think this guy's out there doing anything like that. At least I hope not. I mean, I suppose anything's possible, right? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, but he's definitely got a big following. Well, guys, we are 3 hours and 25 minutes into the stream. It is a half an hour before noon, and I believe that's a morning talk radio show, guys. I'm so grateful that a lot of my regulars like Next Squirrel and Calm came by to help me do my first episode. And we're going to keep doing it, guys. I'm not going to give up. So if you guys got ideas for content, something you want to talk about, you guys know how to reach me even offline. Most of you do. So just reach out to me on the Discord or wherever. And followed. I don't know who D Terrace is, but I'll look into that. We'll talk about that. But definitely, guys, if you guys get any content you want to talk about in the morning, come equipped with links and whatnot, and we'll blast it out. There's no particular format. I mean, I do try to bulldoze a bunch of content into the producing software ahead of time, so that I've got something interesting to show and talk about. I'm obviously going to have to work on that. I'm going to need a lot more content. I didn't realize the show would be going 3.5 hours. I don't know if it'll go this long every morning, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if you got any content, and so tomorrow morning, guys, same bat channel, same bat time, 8 a.m. Pacific. coffee with the Dharma Bum. Bring something fun to drink. Bring some interesting things you want to talk about. Bring yourself, because that's the most important part of it. I love you all. My boys love you all. We give you the blessing today. We bless you, and we pray that everything is auspicious for you today out there in YouTube land. All my friends, my family, my Sangha. We have a closing song, so don't go away. It's called Awakening, and it's by the same artist that I've been showcasing, and I'll find out more about her, and we'll talk about her tomorrow. But in the meantime, I wanted to showcase some of her music to get started. And I might stream tonight, guys. I might do some game streaming tonight. We'll see how things go. But it's possible I might stream a little bit later tonight. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Thank you so much, Comb. Thank you so much, Mech Squirrel. My sis, Bone. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget, I got something in the locker. Please help me. I need to get that stuff out of the locker. Love you guys. Love everybody. My boys send the love to everybody. And we will see you tomorrow morning, guys. Without fail.
Shri